Looking for that perfect family vacation where the water is warm, the sun is shining, and disease as far as the eye can see? Then plan a trip to Shitholia. Shitholia. Less vaccination, more evacuation. Get away to the place where everyone who lives there wants to get away from. Shitholia. We put the E's in disease. And if you act right now, we'll throw in over-the-border human trafficking for free. That's right, a $249 value. Before summer's over, pack up the family, hide in the back of a produce truck, and enjoy a week-long stay at Shitholia. Shitholia government not responsible for loss of life, limb, and cannot guarantee a safe return.
Now, do you think Biden's going to like the fact you're calling the United States Shitholia?
I'm calling whatever country you said people came from.
If you come here from Shitholia, there you well see. You go.
He had the receipts ready to go, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny.
I just inhaled something. Damn
Good.
it.
Oh, good.
No, it's not a cough. I just inhaled something. Like, God damn.
Mm-hmm.
Shitholia.
You could run for mayor.
It's getting even more shit. Oh, no, it's not just a city. It's a country.
Oh, you
There's
could run
no
for
doubt
president.
about that. Running, well, everybody else is.
Why not?
May as well run for president. But, yeah, there's a couple of things that popped up over the weekends. Our listeners and my friends are the worst human beings on earth. I will tell you that.
Okay, tell me why.
Worst people I've ever met in my entire life. I think we're up to 5 people now, I believe, that have sent me a message about this. What's it again? Giglio? What the hell's the name of the island? The island. It's Gig something. Gilgia? Where the guy killed all those women?
I don't know.
You don't know about this story?
No.
Rudy.
There's a shocker. Right?
It's the biggest story in America.
He doesn't know either.
You honestly got to. I'm going to have to get a news guy. I really am. We're going to have to get another person in here.
Chris Egert.
No, I'm talking about for the first segment. You guys honestly don't know about this.
No.
This guy killed 11 women. It's been all over the news, local, national, everything. What have you guys been doing? Twiddling your goddamn thumbs? What are you doing?
You literally yell at us to live our lives and to be positive and to avoid the news. And now you're yelling at us.
I never said avoid the news. I
know,
said
I
avoid
added
the
that.
national news.
Yeah.
Which I, by the way, would recommend even more highly now. I tried watching the national news over the weekend. What a mistake. I do love the fact, and don't tell Chris Egert this because you get all a big noggin and everything, but I watch Channel 5 Eyewitness News when I get up in the morning now.
Yeah.
I got up. Okay, we're going to pretend we're going to be either the CNN or Fox Morning Show, the three of us, because there are usually 3 people on both those shows.
Yeah.
Okay, so you and Rudy start talking, and then I'll bring in the morning news, national news element to it.
But wait,
So you two have to talk.
shouldn't I be blonde and have bigger boobs to be doing this in general?
And be a complete moron?
We'll check.
You got that part covered? Okay,
Done
never
and
mind.
done.
Okay, you two have a conversation, and I'll pretend I'm on the morning news.
Hey, Rudy, how was the commute in today?
You know what we should do? She should talk about the next story. These people talk all over each other. They trample. It's like, do you have any idea what you're doing?
No.
Why don't they, though?
I don't know. I think they add so much injection of personality that they
Yes.
feel like they have to constantly. I even found myself being nicer to Rudy just now, like because I was like, "We're on news. We're nice. We're
nice. We're in shitholia now."
yeah."
But the United States has become a bigger shitholia because I tell you one thing that I get such a laugh out of, and I'm very serious about this part too. I am getting worn out watching particularly white women on the national news who are experts on what it is to be a black person in America. Isn't that wearing you guys out? They're such experts.
Not as much as old white men telling women what to do with their bodies. That's the other thing that drives me nuts.
No, but there's a balance.
Yeah, the white lady who talks about, you're right. The white lady who cries and is like, the racist America that I grew up in. It's like, you grew up in the suburbs of Chicago. You're fine. You have a pampered life. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But I heard one last night. It maybe tops them all. On the national news again, and I do literally have to get away from it because, although I think it's getting funnier by the day because they're getting more and more desperate.
Oh, good.
There was a news reporter that reported that America is a very unfair place because only white people have enough time to exercise. What? What are you talking?
What does she think black people do in jail all day? Come on.
Yeah,
Oh
come
my
on, they're all in
God.
prison, so you know.
Oh my God, it's Monday morning and we are coming in hot.
I cannot believe that someone would think that black people don't have enough time to take a walk.
That's funny.
What? How did they get to be such experts on a neighborhood or a group of people they've never been near?
Listen, I think this is an exact example of why representation matters, right?
Okay.
Like, let people tell their stories. You have you need all sorts of representation in
Sure.
all sorts of media because I am not here to tell other people's stories in ways that's like their experiences. It feels like God, what's the term that would be like? It's almost like emotional vampiring. Like, I'm going to use somebody else's story to convey something to make myself seem nicer.
That's exactly what it is, too. Yep. No, but it's gotten to the point now. Apparently, honkies can't do anything right anymore. According to honkies, by the way. I don't hear that from black people ever.
Yeah.
I was talking to my friend, well, I didn't talk to him. I texted back and forth with my friend Rashawn Moore. You guys met Rashawn?
Nope.
Rashawn's a great guy. We're just talking back and forth about families, this, that, and the other thing. It's just, I wish people would have that experience. Because it's one person to one person, and if you keep noticing skin color, that's your problem,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
So shut up. And this whole idea that black people can't exercise, and she didn't even give a reason for it. They're just too busy. What the hell are they doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like during this show, during the commercials, you could go for a walk in the hall. Doesn't matter what color you are.
Yeah.
But I got a big laugh out of that one. But while I'm laughing at that, then the second story came across.
Oh, no.
And I'm deeply hurt by this one.
Oh.
I want you to know. But this is not going to mean anything to you two because you don't watch the news, which is part of your job to do, by the way.
Is it though?
Yes, it is, definitely.
Is it though?
Yes, it is. I would start if I were you. I'm just telling you. You got to at least know what the headlines are, for Christ's sake.
Also,
So you've never heard of Gilgo Beach?
no, but no, but that's like, I'm glad. Tell me about it. What if there's another listener who hasn't listened? Like, what if they had a weekend of not watching the news? So tell me what
But
happened.
that's not their job to watch the
No,
news.
I just meant like, give us the deets.
Well, it's not going to mean anything now. You've taken all the power away from the story because neither one of you knows what the hell I'm talking about.
Tom, take back your power.
Take back, oh God, shut up. Get away from me. But I had this wonderful story, and it means absolutely nothing now because you two don't do your jobs. But other than that,
Other than that,
don't worry about this. But I'll tell, this is for the listeners. It's not for you two. So you
Understandable.
two just butt out.
I'll just not
That's all
listen.
I'm saying. There's a guy in Gilgo Beach. It's been going on for, I think, like 10 years, maybe even longer than that. It turns out this guy has murdered like 11 women on Long Island, Gilgo Beach, Long Island, right? Well, they finally figured out, because they found a hair on one of the women. And then this guy popped up as a suspect, and an agent followed this guy around town. I can't remember his name. I don't want to know his name. But
Okay.
anyway, the Gilgo Beach killer, he followed him around town, and the guy bought a pizza. And he sat down on a park bench and ate part of the pizza and all the rest of it. Did not finish it, took it over and threw the pizza in the garbage. They took it out, got his DNA from the pizza, matched it to the hair on the woman, and that's how they caught this guy.
Dang a
Now, how would you guys
lame.
not want to know things like that?
I'm glad you told us.
No. Watch the news. Because here comes the best part.
Okay.
Okay, would you each bring up a picture of the Gilgo Beach killer?
Yep.
Because you got to look at him
Yep.
for the next part.
Terrifying.
No,
Not at all.
not
No,
at
I mean
all.
like because he's mundane looking. Like there's like a terrifying like this picture is terrifying.
Oh, he's got his hair combed in that picture, though.
Yes.
He usually doesn't. And the reason I had you look at that picture is I'm at 5 now. It's probably more than 5 now. But I've gotten responses, a couple of friends and a few listeners that say, holy Christ. I'm like, what? That Gilgo Beach killer looks like he'd be your cousin.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say looks like. I don't think he looks like you.
I don't think he does either, but all these people think he looks like me. I'm like, no.
I mean, he's got this like really calm skin. It's just terrifying.
Well, he's got the honky blue eyes. He's got that. which I have too.
I don't know, a guy who, goes into a murderous frenzy, rage. He could be a relative of yours, Tom.
It's true.
It's true.
Well, he could be.
Just saying. Yeah.
Could be my cousin, maybe. I don't know. But here's the amazing part about this guy, is he goes around and kills all these women. First of all, he got burner phones to contact each one of them.
Yeah.
Apparently, he was setting up dates with them or something. They haven't gotten too deep into the story, but it's a huge story nationwide because they've been looking for this guy for, I think, about 10 years, something like that.
Oh my God.
And they finally tracked him down, but he used burner phones to talk to him. Then he just throw those away. But he finally got caught because he threw a half-eaten pizza, or I guess he ate about 3/4 of it, but he threw the rest away, and they got him on that whole situation. It's just one of those. And by the way, this guy is 6'4" and weighs 280. A guy that big that has to prey on women. Explain that to me.
Oh, he's giving me icky goosebumps. He's spooky.
Shouldn't you know there are people like that out there by watching the news?
I mean, I think I know there are people like that out there because of just pure history.
Yeah, well, there is that.
Yeah, your Netflix, previously viewed will definitely let you know that there are serial killers out there because
Yeah.
that's what everybody is binging right now.
Yes.
It's all true crime.
But that's what I'm wondering. They don't watch the news, but they watch true crime. It makes no sense.
I think I need a little distance from, a good 20 years from this kind of stuff. Like, even this is giving me vomity feels. Like, I like
vomity feels.
I like watching something where I go, okay, at least that was the 1970s, And then this is now. This guy was walking around till just like last week.
Yep, last week.
Gulp. Ugh.
It's all true. But don't you think it's good to know there are people like that out there and to stay away from people on burner phones? Well, I suppose they didn't know it was a burner. How does a burner phone show up on your phone when they call you? Does it
Just a normal number.
Just a number, that's it?
Yeah, they just call it a burner phone because it's like you pay with cash.
Oh, okay.
And then you have a certain amount of minutes you bought, and there's no tracing it back to you, and then you can throw it out, and there's nothing that would bring it to, no Tom Barnard name would pop up, or this guy Rex would show up at all.
But now that you've seen him, do you agree, 5 minutes in, that he could be my cousin? Because that's what everybody thinks.
Okay, maybe cousin's like, sure, I'll say yes.
Because anybody can have a cousin. I have a cousin who's tall, like 6'3", who's leggy and blonde and super good looking, who looks nothing like the rest of the family. Anybody could be anyone's cousin.
My cousin is Katie Ledecky. I couldn't have less in common with her,
Yes.
talent-wise, success-wise.
There you go.
So yes, sure, I'll say he could be your cousin, but he's just kind of like a...
Okay, wait a second. So he's got tall and good looking, you got Katie Ledecky, and I got a murderer.
Yep.
That's great. I mean, he's not really my cousin.
No.
I got to make that very clear. But a lot of pain in the ass listeners think it's very funny to put our pictures next to one another.
I gotta find more photos of him, and I'm scared my computer's gonna implode when I search him.
It could be. We do have to move on, but I just wanted to point that out, that it's just like, thank you so much, listeners. I really appreciate how much you care for me. You know what I mean?
They are a loving group.
Well, there's no getting around it. They could not be more loving, do you think?
I think it's just a tall guy. That's the
He's
only
a very
thing,
tall guy.
That's the only thing you guys have in common.
Oh, he's a lot taller than I am, though.
Yeah, but like, that like big guy energy, like that's what you...
I guess, yeah, that...
Like that tall
pushy-
guy energy.
Pushy pain in the ass, is that what you're saying? Because I can hear it, the tone of your voice.
Maybe? Okay, here's the
Yeah.
thing. I have seen photos. This is like his high school photos. I have seen pictures of you wearing glasses like that.
That, I look just like that.
That's what I think.
I think maybe that's the one they're using. Very good.
Yeah.
Because that looks a lot, except for he's not wearing an ascot like I was in my
Exactly.
high school graduation picture.
But otherwise, no, I don't see it.
No, that one does look a lot like me when I was 18 years old. That's very true.
Yes.
I'm going to go kill someone right now.
Nope. No, you're not.
No killing?
Nope.
All right, got to check the weather very, very quickly. Mostly sunny, but it's a beautiful day today. No, there's no smoke in the air that I could detect. You guys?
No, I
have
didn't
any?
feel. It didn't feel as hazy as it has in the past.
Marvelous, mostly sunny. And that's all still coming from Canada, isn't it?
I'm unsure. It feels like it's just been forever. Like there
Been a
has to
long
be
time.
something more systematic than one event.
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely. Mostly sunny, pleasant today with a high of 77. Clear and cool with a low of 57. Tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny and warmer with a high of 84. On Wednesday, partly sunny and warmer with a high of 88. Thursday, windy, cooler with a high of 82. But what a beautiful week. They said literally for like the next 10 days it's going to be gorgeous.
That's awesome.
And maybe beyond that, obviously. Right now, it's sunny. It's 58 degrees. And by the way, it does feel chilly this morning.
I thought I wore a sweater. I felt kind of cold.
Oh, I understand. It was, I think, 54 when I left the house.
Yeah, it felt cold.
Something like that. So, yeah, they say it's sunny and 58 now, but a high of 77. Just a gorgeous day today. Sunny, pleasant with a high of 77. We shall take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. Bob Sansevere will join us. We got all kinds of people coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Is Doug's doing a live spot today, or am I just doing the live spot today?
Just you, but I don't believe he's on there until Wednesday again.
Yeah, until Wednesday.
Until Wednesday is when he comes. Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I believe, are the days we have him on.
No, that spot I don't think I have, so I'm going to have to dig that one up. We're going to have to figure it out. In any case, we'll be right back right after this, ladies and gentlemen. We've been hearing about the new technology offered at Twin Cities Premier Health, right?
Yep.
Oh God, I get the look at this. I look down at this. This is the
I was thinking. I think you have the wrong date. Yeah, that's okay. That's all right.
No, that's exactly what it is. There were two of them in my stack. No, it is Premier Health.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you got today. Yep.
Great.
Well, that's what I was reading, wasn't it?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah, you got it right. Yep.
All right. We've been hearing about the new technology offered at Twin Cities Premier Health for the treatment of ED. This is one of those topics that can get uncomfortable to talk about, but the truth is, if new technology can improve your life by treating the root cause of most erectile dysfunction, why wouldn't we want to talk about it? And by the way, you can prevent it by going to Twin Cities Premier Health. You don't have to have erectile dysfunction. You can prevent it in this way. At Twin Cities Premier Health, acoustic wave therapy is the latest advancement in the treatment of erectile dysfunction. It's a non-invasive, non-surgical, highly effective science-based procedure. Creates an increase in blood flow and helps create new blood vessels by treating the root cause of most erectile dysfunction. And the prevention of that, of course, is very, very helpful. If, like so many of my listeners, you aren't interested in continuing to take a pill to create a pharmaceutically induced erection, wipe out all spontaneity, reach out to Twin Cities Premier Health like I did. Right now, receive this special offer, a free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. This is valued at $800. 952-395-4346. That's my unique phone number, 952-395-4346 for their office. Or go to TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com, and please be sure to tell them that Tom Barnard sent you.
Boating season is here, and many of you will be hauling a boat to the lake this summer. At Bradshaw & Bryant, we encourage you to keep yourself and others safe by obeying the laws of the lakes. Keep in mind that children 10 and under are required to wear a life jacket at all times. It's also good to make sure everything on the boat is in working order before heading out into the water. Alcohol causes thousands of boating injuries every year. Remember that the captain is responsible for the crew and cannot be over the legal limit. And please, not only be aware of other boats in the water, but keep an eye out for water skiers, tubers, and jet skiers. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. Please do your part to keep yourself and others safe on the lakes this summer.
You can find Mike Bryant at Bradshaw & Bryant and at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. Mike Bryant, seeking justice for the injured.
Working hard and going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw & Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
It's time to beat the heat. This is Tom from my friends at Miller Marine and Power Lodge, giving you the keys to a cool lake breeze. With clearance pricing on 2023 luxury pontoons, fishing boats, and more, our dog days of summer won't last, and neither will their inventory. So do both of us a favor and go from floor to shore today with iconic Bennington pontoons and tri-toon packages at doorbuster pricing at Miller Marine in St. Cloud and all Power Lodge locations. Get your first cruise in by sunset. But don't wait on this limited time special. Power Lodge offers competitive financing with no money down. By the way, if you need delivery to your dock, their team of experts has you covered. Discover what thousands of our Minnesota neighbors have and explore our lakes and rivers in your own boat at Elite Savings. I said Elite Savings, darn it. Launch into adventure today at Miller Marine and Power Lodge. Just head to millermarine.com and powerlodge.com to see for yourself. Financing is available on approved credit. Freight and prep are not included in packages. We are back. Oh, we got an echo. Everything is good now. Very, very good. Good, smooth start to the week. Now we're talking.
There we go.
We're cooking
I got
with gas. Okay, we up now?
Yeah, we're good. Yep.
I like that. He said, yep, but his mic wasn't.
I have like 11 things going on in the studio right now. So
Why?
yes.
What's happening?
Well, we got another guest coming up at 8, and then we have a in-studio guest, and then we have to move some people around. So yeah, boy, you are right. We got a packed Monday today.
No doubt about that. But do we have to put up with Sandy?
Unfortunately, we do.
Okay. Welcome to the show, Bob.
Well, I'm really excited to be part of this enthusiastic crowd over there.
So, Bob, let me ask you a question. You ever watch the news?
Why?
Because I found out that neither Brittany nor Rudy watches the news ever.
Not on the weekend. I'm enjoying myself.
You have a job to do.
Barely.
Yeah, Monday through Friday.
No.
Hey,
it's
you know
life.
what? From now on,
it's a
Saturday and
lifestyle.
Sunday, you come in, you broadcast every single Saturday and Sunday. It's your job.
I don't. No, it's not. It's Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, exactly.
No, but watching the news over the weekend is just part of life.
Not for me. It's not. I enjoy.
Bob, what do you
I'm
think?
trying to live a long time.
Yeah.
Why don't we turn this into a music show and become a bunch of dumbass disc jockeys? What do you think?
I love it.
That's what we'll do. What, Bob?
I'm a little bit. Well, I try to stay somewhat topical.
Did you hear the story about the Gilgo killer?
The guy who they call Peter because he looks like the guy from Family Guy.
Peter Griffin.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes. he
Now
looks like
now
Peter
he just
Griffin.
burned me even worse.
You didn't know that?
No, here's what I did know: that 5 people, 3 listeners and 2 friends, texted me and said, "Man, that guy could be your cousin."
No, he does look like Peter.
He does kind of look like Peter. You're right about that, but I don't think I look like Peter.
No. We'll go with no.
Okay, just for
Maybe
that.
tomorrow.
No, you're getting it for now. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Bryant bringing you Bob Sansevere. Michael Bryant brings you Bob Sansevere. Bradshaw and Bryant seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant personal injury, MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. That's MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. Sandy, what is the latest in the news?
Well, the news are the Twins. Your Twins. They did what they had to do. They sweep Oakland. And Tom, there has never been a suckier division than the AL Central because Cleveland has lost now 4 straight.
Right.
And the Twins are like 2.5 up. It's just a brutal division. And good luck to them when the postseason comes around if they are the survivor of that crap division.
The crap division, Bob. It looked a little dangerous, like they were going to lose to the worst team in baseball yesterday, but they did come back and win it, so that was good.
Yeah, here's a stat. This is one of the best stats of the year. Do you know how many times the Oakland A's have been swept this year? How many series?
Oh, God, I don't know. All of them?
Well, no, not all of them. 13 times.
Oh, God.
A baker's dozen of sweeps.
Sandy.
That's just brutal.
That's pretty bad.
But hey, Buxton's got his batting average all the way up to 199.
Yeah, it's about time for him to go away, isn't it?
Yeah, what did he have? I think he got walked in a run or a winning run the other day on Saturday.
Yep.
Oh, he's really doing his job.
Well, a lot of them, I mean, my God, Kepler can't hit worth a damn. He's a damn good outfielder, but he can't hit. You got
Kirillov's had the key home run. He won the game for him.
He did, yep.
They had a rally. Rally against Oakland.
That was very, very
pathetic.
nice.
Very pathetic. Hey, have you watched, I think Rudy said he did, and maybe Brittany has. Have you watched Quarterback yet?
No, I'm not going to watch it. I'm busy watching the news because I'm the only one who does.
It is sort of newsy.
Yeah, I'm about 7 episodes in. I think I got like 2 left.
Well, you'll see a lot of Patrick Mahomes because the other 2 guys have fallen off.
Well, it might as well just be the Patrick Mahomes documentary. Everything is about that guy. Every episode.
No, it really isn't. I think it had quite a bit about Cousins. The guy who deservedly so got the short shrift was Marcus Mariota.
Oh,
He
yeah.
lost his job and disappeared. But I actually think that Kirk Cousins came off looking very good in this documentary.
He looks great. He is also the epitome of you can be a really good guy who's also terrible at his job. That is so many people on this planet. They're super nice, but they can't get the job done. And Brittany's pointing at herself right now.
Yeah. I would argue that Brittany and Cousins, I've said it before, and I'll say it now. He is the Denny Green of NFL quarterbacks. great in the regular season. Playoffs come around, and nothing but stink bombs.
Yeah, after watching that doc, though, I feel like this might be the Vikings. And even though I'm not a Vikings fan, I feel like this might be the year coming up that if they had a shot to go, I mean, they have the team, they got all the right pieces right now. That coach has got some.
Take a look at their schedule.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if there was ever a year, this one coming up, man, this really could be their year.
The odds of them winning as many close games as they did last year, they're astronomical. I mean, what happened last year was a fluke. Teams don't win, these one-score games as many as they did. I mean, they were unbelievable in one-score games. So I can't see it happening again. I do think the defense will be a lot better. And Tom, we're talking about the Vikings to avoid your Twins.
Yeah, you're talking about the Vikings, who, by the way, you watched a special on a quarterback who, at 4th and 10, with the entire season on the line, threw a 6-yard pass. Boy, is he good.
Why didn't the tight end get 4 yards out of it? It was his fault.
You probably don't want to roll the dice like that in my mind anyway, but I think Cousins is a very mediocre quarterback.
Well, and that's why the quarterback was the superstar, the mediocre, and the bad.
Oh, okay.
That's what they picked. They picked a guy that represented each tier.
Oh, okay. Well, that might be interesting then. I just thought they were just kissing ass on the NFL.
Well, they're doing that too. And it was Peyton Manning's the one who was behind it. Have you ever seen that Peyton Manning, I think it was a Saturday Night Live skit where he's teaching kids how to play football?
It's one of the best things Saturday Night Live has ever done, is that bit. Yeah.
Tom, you've seen it or no?
Last thing I saw was the very first episode of the Coneheads, and I've never watched Saturday Night Live again.
This one kind of transcends, though. It kind of makes the rounds on social media, and I can't imagine I imagine at some point somebody showed you this, because it's Peyton Manning, who's like at a Boys and Girls Club, and he's teaching kids how to, play football, and he is just the biggest asshole coach. He's like screaming at 8-year-olds. He's like, you check
in the back of the head,
yeah, he's hitting
one kid to the porta potty and says, "You're in there for 20." He pokes his head out. Get your head back in there.
Oh,
you got to watch it during the break. Call it up for him.
Yeah, and apparently during that whole, when they were filming it, Peyton's a super nice guy, and these are a bunch of kids, so their parents had to be on set, and their parents were coming up to Peyton like, "Hey, will you do me a favor? Can you drill my kid with a football again? Like, we just want to make sure we get it on video." And he's like, "You want me to hit your kid so you can send a video to your family?"
What a shock.
And Tom, my lone claim to fame, back in the 80s when Archie Manning was a Vikings quarterback.
Sure.
We would play, football after practices, a bunch of the media guys and some of the ball boys. I was Peyton Manning's quarterback. He was only like 6 or 7, whatever it was.
Well, that's pretty good, though.
And I was, why does this kid tell me I'm better than you? No, it was Archie, and he gets it. And, the Manning boys get it from their dad. He is terrific.
Right.
He was a great guy.
That's what I understand. He was I never met him, but I heard he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, he is, and they get it from him. So I like both Peyton. I like Eli too because of their lineage from their dad Archie, who's a great guy.
Bob, let me ask you a question though, because all the Viking quarterbacks that I have met, only a couple of them have been an arrogant pain in the ass. The other ones seem to be pretty decent people.
I'm trying to go back and think who was a quarterback that was not likable at all. And I mean, the ones that were around a while, all of them were good. Rich Gannon was a great guy.
Great
Brad
guy.
Johnson was a great guy. Wade Wilson. Tommy. I mean, Tommy Kramer was a heck of a guy, too.
I love Tommy.
Yeah, even Culpepper was not a bad guy.
I don't know about that.
I have, for those who haven't heard, I know I've told you this, Tom, when Mike Tice was the coach, and I'd written some stuff about Culpepper, which was not complimentary. So we're walking through their weight room, and Culpepper's coming. So Tice, who I knew very well, he grabs me, like puts my arms behind my back, and he says to Culpepper, here's the guy. You want to take a swipe at him? And I said, he'll probably miss.
Oh, I love it.
And all I got from Culpepper was that look of he didn't know how to respond to that.
You're probably lucky at that one.
Because that was at a point. That was one of the seasons when he was not on. He was like one season on, one season off in terms of how good he could be.
Now, Bob, did you promise me you were going to buy the dollar bill suit that he had? Did you ever buy it?
Oh, yeah.
That one is tucked away. No, I never did get it.
Where do you even get a suit like that?
I don't know, but Kirk Cousins in this quarterback, he wore one after a game. it was like Vikings. No, this was a Vikings one he had. It wasn't a dollar one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had all the Vikings logo all over it. I don't know where you'd get something like that either. But the Vikings knew their first-round pick, Jordan Addison, he had the lining of his suit, if you remember, at the NFL draft with dollar signs or dollar bills.
Yeah, they do like to brag about that money that's coming in, no doubt about that.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. The one, I don't know if it's a flaw, but in this quarterback, they stayed completely away from the absurd money that Mahomes and Cousins have made in their careers and are making. But then again, you look at the house that Mahomes was building, where he already had like the hole for golf, the pool that they're putting in, the jacuzzi, the basketball, the full court basketball court in the house. So you could get a pretty good idea. And the Cousins house was none too shabby either.
Oh, I could see that to be true, yeah. Too bad he's not any good. He's a very mediocre quarterback.
But he has certainly put up, again, regular season numbers, these two ones. And just an aside about that, Justin Jefferson gave his top 5 quarterbacks. Guess who was not on his list?
Gee, let me guess.
He didn't put his own guy on his list.
What a shock. Well, he
quite a
shouldn't,
bit
though.
about it.
Well, he was being honest, so I kind of like the fact that he was being honest about this.
Yeah. And you think, how good could Justin Jefferson be if he had Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback? Or, go around the league, Joe Burrow or Josh Allen, any one of these guys. Even Aaron Rodgers would be better. So, but
that is true.
It will be an interesting year. We'll see how it plays out. I think they'll win the division. I think people are getting too hyped about Detroit. But I think the defense will be a lot better. But I don't think Philadelphia is still going to be the team to beat. And I think there'll be a little bit of resurgence from the Rams, and the Niners could be a killer team this year.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Are you trying to get me excited about the Vikings now? Because I love the Vikings, but are you getting me too excited here?
Well, I'm trying to temper your, what's happening with the Twins. You got to get off of them.
Yeah, but they're 2.5 up now, aren't they?
Woohoo! Look at what they're playing in the division.
Well, thank
they're
you.
2 games above 500.
I know.
That's, a team that's 2.5 up should be a lot more than that.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I just, I don't understand why about 5 of the people are still on that team, and I don't understand why Rocco Baldelli is still the coach.
Oh, because he's an I-tie. You got to keep the I-ties employed. Think about all the great I-tie players through the years. DiMaggio, right?
Yogi
that
Berra.
alone. Yeah, Yogi Berra. Come on, the Yankee greats. I'm sure that the great Bambino was an Italian too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The Bambino was absolutely.
Babe Ruthino, I think, is what his real name was.
I think you're absolutely right. But yeah, I'm sorry. I adore the Twins. I love my Twins. I know they're not very good. They did sweep a horrible team. But
you have to do.
Oakland is the worst team in baseball, aren't they?
You'd be hard pressed to find another one. I mean,
right.
There are some bad teams in baseball this year, and I give you the AL Central as an example. But you could put the A's up against anyone when it comes to being just putrid, and it's going to be hard to find a team that is that not well. All right, the Royals, as an example, they are a few percentage points ahead of the A's, so they're pretty bad too.
They're terrible.
And then over in the the other league, you got the Rockies are pretty rough as well. They're horrible. The Rockies, they based on percentage, the Nationals and Rockies actually have worse winning percentages than the A's.
I have to ask you something, Bob. As far as this is all concerned, what's the future? That's what I want to know.
The future for what?
Are they going to get rid of most of the people on this team? Because they need to get rid of at least 6-7 guys.
I don't think it's going to happen now. I mean, you read these stories from the optimistic local media, and they're trying to say one story, the other, can they get a Shannon Stewart like they did back in '91? They're trying to talk about what moves they can make. Would you really want to make a move, to try to make this team better to win the division and then go into the postseason and get swept?
I still want to know, Bob, this, and I don't understand what's going on, but I have never seen so many booted balls, dropped balls, missed throw. What is going on with all the errors this year?
That does go to managing. The
Yeah.
whole thing of fundamentals. You never saw that with Tom Kelly. You didn't see it with Gardenhire.
Oh, no.
And by the way, those teams were the winning percentage is far worse for the Royals and the Athletics than the Rockies and Colorado, or excuse me, the Rockies and Nationals. They just looked when I took a look at the Nationals and the Rockies. They had so few wins, but they're still not as bad as those two AL teams. But no, I think they have to. They got it. They're not doing or learning fundamentals, or they're forgetting them.
I guess.
Or they think they're so good that they don't need to.
Now, by the same, I guess, in the same breath is a better way to put it, I've seen some spectacular plays that maybe I've never seen before, so I guess it's both ways.
Well, it depends on the player. See, some of these guys, give me which player do you think about specifically or primarily?
Not really anybody specifically. It's happening across the league, not just with the Twins.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of booted balls, drop balls. I mean, there was a play yesterday, and I was amazed the man even stopped. He made a spectacular play and ended up dropping the ball, and so the runner was safe. But the fact that he even got to that ball was amazing. Is that part of it, that they're so fast and so good now, they're getting to balls they didn't used to get to?
Well, let's go with that. It makes them look better than
that's true.
Fundamentals.
That is.
I mean,
good news,
I'll tell you what. I know Byron Buxton has not booted a ball or misplayed one this year.
No, that's very, very true.
Kind of hard to do at DH.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched him yesterday. I watched the entire game yesterday, and when they went down, they were down like 3-0, weren't they?
Yeah, because they came back. They came back in the fifth inning with the hit by or the home run by Kirilloff, and they were down. It was 3-0, and then in the fifth inning, they made a little bit of they made their comeback.
Mm-hmm.
In the seventh, they got their runs basically in the fifth and the seventh inning.
There you have it. What else you got, Sandy?
They could pretty much do it for now.
Okay.
And but are you up to date on Joe Pickett or Jack Ryan, which have new episodes came out this weekend?
I don't watch Jack Ryan. I watch Joe Pickett, and I think it's terrific.
Yeah, I thought this was the last episode. Apparently, it isn't, or they're leaving you hanging. Next year.
Yeah, it could be. Catherine and I went back, and maybe I should get the tip off from the three of you if it's any good, because it's about, it's got to be at least like 15 years old at the very beginning. There's a show called Fringe that I had never seen before. Did you guys ever watch the show Fringe?
No.
You know anything about it?
Nope.
It was written by J.J. Abrams, which is what attracted me to it in the first place, because I think that guy's a hell of a talent. Writes really good stories. We just watched the first episode, which is an hour and a half long. They did one of those deals. Really, really pretty good. And then we also saw, and I'm going to talk to Kristyn Burtt about this in a second, we also saw Asteroid City. Have you seen that?
No, you did see it?
We did.
I'm excited to hear what your review is.
We'll be talking to Kristyn Burtt about that in just a couple of minutes, no question about it. But yeah, that's the one thing about streaming. I don't know if I'd be going on strike if all the streaming is available, because I'm now watching TV shows from 15 years ago that are really good.
Fringe has a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, and
it's good.
Yeah, the whole premise seems like it's awesome.
It's phenomenal, and I had never even heard of it.
Same.
So how does that? Kristyn Burtt, she can come in, just jump in with Bobby, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, let me give her the intro because I got to run and take a car to be worked on.
In other words,
Kristyn,
you have to
best
poop.
ever.
I know.
How's that for an intro?
It's now like this short. Remember when it was really long? You're the best ever. Bye.
All right, thanks.
To you, Bob.
Thank you. Wait a minute,
Okay,
I got to read
Kristyn.
something. I got to read something here. Okay, you're going to go out, Bob?
Oh, yes, but I need to say this first because right now when you put all the people on my computer, it's really tiny. And when Kristyn came on, I'm saying, is she like topless? I couldn't tell from your shirt. You are wearing a shirt, all right? Because I'm thinking you're coming on. You just got out of the shower or something. So,
No.
But no, she does have a shirt on. All right, we'll see you kids later. And she is the
Awesome.
best
Bye,
ever.
Bob.
Bye-bye.
Sandy, thank you. A hell of a job, I thought.
He could step it up, but I'll give him some
Ah,
notes.
yeah, but that's just a given. I mean,
Accused me of being naked.
Sandy.
It's right. I mean, there's that.
That's just Sandy. Are you sure about what you just told me? Because I thought Michael Bryant, the host, sponsored him on Mondays.
Fridays.
No, that's Dave Bielke. Do you guys know anything about this show?
Yeah, he said it before when the morning started. Because have a sponsor on Monday.
Yeah, we were supposed. Yeah, because it's supposed to be. No. Actually, you do have that wrong, Brittany. It is Mondays because we do have Tim Lammers on Fridays.
Okay.
So we do have Michael Bryant on Mondays, and we have Dave Bielke on Fridays sponsoring Bob.
I'm only repeating what you came in and said this morning.
Jesus Christ.
Did I say that this morning?
Yes.
I don't think I said
on Monday,
that this morning.
yes.
Why me, Kristyn?
Okay.
Why me?
Well,
I don't know.
These
I don't
two
have an answer to any of
disasters.
this.
I'm almost certain that he. Now I have to find the damn thing. I'm almost certain that Michael Bryant sponsors Bob on because Bielke does on Fridays.
Okay.
When you need someone, a lawyer you know and trust.
Yeah.
When you need someone to pay attention on your show.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
Get off your ass, folks.
Also,
Now, what the hell did I do with it?
I actually just talked to Michael Bryant one time when I got hit by another car just because I just wanted to know what I should do, and he gave great advice. So
But you were in a car, though, I'm hoping. You didn't get hit walking.
correct, yes.
Oh, God, because you say you got hit by a car. I'm like, holy crap.
No, I got rear-ended by this lady who ended up screaming in my face about stuff. This is many years ago, but it was awesome to just know what you should or shouldn't do, and anybody who reaches out to you about the insurance is not on your side. So talk to Michael Bryant. He's actually insanely wise about all that stuff.
See, now we got a free commercial out of it,
I know,
so it's a great benefit.
And unfortunately, I'm telling the truth because I'm not obviously a very good liar or actor. So.
Or that's good at radio, for that matter.
Yeah, or there's that.
Thank God we're on podcasting. See, that was actually a compliment.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Well, it was. All right, Kristyn, what the hell are we doing?
My goodness. Well,
It's been one of these days, I'm telling you. It's just, holy Christ. Whatever. What were
It's
you
crazy.
saying?
Well, Catherine outed you this weekend and said you finally went to see Asteroid City.
We did. We did go see
I've been
Asteroid
begging
City.
you for weeks to go see
But
this.
that's why we went and saw it because of your lead.
And what did you think?
We liked it. I don't think everyone's going to like it.
No, it's Wes Anderson. So
Yeah,
you have to
yep.
know ahead of time that you're going in for quirky, weird sense of humor.
It
and you
is
have to just
quirky.
dive into that world and just embrace it. And if you do, you're going to have a delightful time.
Now, Kristyn, how did they shoot that? Because the colorization, it looked like it was colorized. Remember colorized when they took black and white films and colorized them?
I had sent Catherine an article on how they did it because they had to use specific type of cameras. They did a 360 type of view, kind of more of a sepia toned. So it's a filter that they kind of use, but it's a really interesting explanation from the cinematographer on how they shot the film.
Yeah, we thought it was very quirky. There's no doubt about that. There's no getting around the fact that it was very quirky. But Catherine and I both really enjoyed it.
Yeah, Wes Anderson films, if people haven't seen them before, it is, honestly, they are so delightful when you go and really just dive into Wes Anderson's world. And so many good performances out of actors because he'll do cameos. People will pop up in a scene and you're like, well, I haven't seen them in a while. And they do excellent work. So I really think that he's a director who also knows how to direct actors well and give kind of a performance of a lifetime.
I'm telling you, and again, it's not for everybody. I know some people that would watch about 10 minutes go, this is horrendous, and leave. Some people are just not going to, they don't like Wes Anderson, first of all.
Right.
But Catherine and I thought it was quirkier than hell. The people in it were terrific, really good.
How did Tom Hanks do in it?
He was good.
Yeah?
He plays like a grandpa, I guess, in it.
Yep.
That's super fun because there's a lot of continuous players that Wes Anderson grabs, but I don't think Tom Hanks has ever been in a Wes Anderson.
Steve Carell pops up.
Yeah.
Oh, how'd he do?
Scarlett Johansson. I mean,
He was terrific.
it's stacked in terms of recognizable names, and that's it. It's like a quirky cast of characters, and the town itself is bizarre, but it's delightful. I love Wes Anderson. I always just fall right into it. And this is great alternative programming if you're like, I don't want to see Mission Impossible 7.
Yeah,
I don't want to see Indiana Jones, was it 5? All of these things are continuous franchises. This is the opportunity to go and see something at the movie theater that is original.
No, I could understand that. And it was on, because you're the first one that pointed it out to me before it even came out that it was coming out. I like Wes Anderson. Catherine likes Wes Anderson. So, once again, I will warn some people, it's not for everybody. Some people are not going to like it. It's just too quirky for them.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
People will know what type of, because I think everyone knows what type of humor that they like. There's certain things that I don't gravitate toward, and I just don't usually bother to watch. And people will know for them or not.
All right, Pally, I got to take a break here. You can just got a couple of minutes. All right. Can you hang in there?
Handle it.
Okay.
I can handle it.
I wanted to make sure we're covered. On MyPillow's 20-year anniversary, with over 80 million MyPillows sold, Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen-size MyPillow's regular price is $69.98, now only $19.98, and just $10 more for king-size. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts your exact individual needs to help you get the best sleep ever. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to get Mike's amazing offer on the queen-size MyPillow for only $19.98. Enter promo code TOM. In addition to the special anniversary offer on the MyPillows, you'll also receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, My Slippers, and so much more. Take advantage of the biggest sale in MyPillow's history. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code TOM to take advantage of Mike's special offer on his MyPillow. That is MyPillow.com, promo code TOM.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Mike Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a community bank based right here in the Twin Cities, we believe in taking the time to get to know our customers and their businesses.
And part of that is hiring and cultivating a team of experienced lenders. When your business banks with us, you're not training in a new, inexperienced banker.
In fact, our bankers have worked with many of the same customers for years, earning their trust. We get to know you and your business, and you get to know and rely upon us.
When your business is looking to capitalize on an opportunity or solve a problem, we'll be here to help you.
Tom here. I know Brad and Mike, and I trust that with my banking, they've personally delivered on everything they've just said. So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. Hi, this is Tom Barnard. My friends at Niemeyer Trailer Sales at their Albertville location just off Interstate 94 would like to extend a special offer going on now through the end of July. It's for all our Tom Barnard Morning Show listeners. When you visit their Albertville location, mention that you heard me, Tommy B., tell you about this July-only savings opportunity on travel trailers and pickup campers. Now, you must be a qualified buyer, but here's the really good news. Receive up to $5,000 off the advertised price on all their new in-stock inventory. As always, terms and conditions do apply. Brands include Rockwood by Forest River, Arctic Fox by Northwood Manufacturing, Cirrus by New Camp, and more. Now is a real good time to buy and take your passion on the road with Niemeyer Trailer Sales. You can't just sit around. See my guys and gals at Niemeyer's in Albertville or peruse their current inventory at Niemeyers.com. That's Niemeyers.com, Niemeyers.com. The Up to the $5,000 off sales event ends July 31st. We are back. Kristyn Burtt with us, ladies and gentlemen. A little news, a little information coming. I have to ask you a question.
Okay.
Because you live in Los Angeles.
I do.
Just down the road, just a few miles. Well, a little further than that, but like on the other side of the state, maybe. They're saying a record high in Death Valley happened over the weekend, 131 degrees. The record high in Death Valley is 132 degrees. So I don't know what they're talking about. So
it was hot. I thought it reached 132 yesterday, but
it says 131 here. So, do you think it was just the wire that got that wrong?
We had heard 132 here, but who knows?
Yeah, because actually, I was in Death Valley as a little 11-year-old boy visiting. My brother Terry was in the Marine Corps, so we went to visit him. I
can't imagine working in that heat.
Oh, no, I can't imagine it either. But I do remember, and the reason I remember it so clearly, that it was 132 degrees that day, and that was many, many, many years ago. It was 132 degrees, and the reason I know that is because I stepped out of the car barefoot.
Oh, did you burn your feet?
Oh, yes, I did. It was black tar.
Was it like second-degree burns?
It was black tar, too.
Oh.
It's like, holy Christ, was that hot. I mean, a Minnesota boy, we don't know anything about that kind of deal. You know what I mean?
I don't think people realize when California, because we are a desert, when it gets hot, it is blazing.
It is.
I remember one Emmys, I got heat stroke on the red carpet. Because they just had us like out there on like blacktop with no tent that year.
Oh.
And it was hot and humid and everyone's in evening gowns. And I got heat stroke. I was in the middle of an interview with the Robot Chicken guys and I'm like, I have to stop. I'm about to faint. because I saw, when you see the curtain closing on your eyes,
Yes.
you know you're in trouble.
I could see that, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew. And I know they're trying to say now that it's the worst of all time and blah, blah, blah. And in some places it is. But I still believe that it was 132 yesterday, which tied the all-time high. I believe that's true. Look, it's getting hot enough in other places. You don't have to scare people by telling them it's getting even hotter in Death Valley.
Why don't we just all admit we're going to melt in 10 years and we're just not going to be here?
Well, yeah, but according to that little 16-year-old up there in Scandinavia, we're supposed to all be dead by now. What happened to that?
I think we got a good decade.
You got 10 years.
We got 10 years. That's my prediction.
For me, that kind of works out for me because I'd probably be dead anyway. So what's the difference? More me now.
Well, I mean, all of us will be like, we had a good run. That's it. We'll just fall asleep and just melt, evaporate.
I'm pretty sure that we'll figure something out. That'd be really good. And they never, ever mention the fact that, of course, from the time I was born till now, there are almost 200 million more people in this country. In my lifetime, 180 million more people. And pretty much the 150 million that were here when I was born are all dead. So there you go. I mean, you can't just let people wander the earth freely. It just doesn't work.
Don't look at me. I didn't bring any kids into this world.
Oh, listen to you.
I'm not a breeder.
I'm not a breeder. No, hey, everybody wants to live their life and all the rest of it, and I don't want anybody living in agony or whatever, but maybe we should take care of things like that. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think we should place any caps or limits like China did.
Oh, China's got, how many people are in China? What, like 1.2 billion or something, somebody told me?
A lot of people. A small city in China is like 10 million people.
That's so wild.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and if you go and visit, it's overwhelming. Has anyone been to China besides me?
Nope.
It's really, I mean, it was one of like the greatest experiences of my life because I just, when you just like go and you're like, I'm just here to absorb all the culture and really embrace why I'm here. But it really was overwhelming to realize like how many people live in a very small area.
Yeah.
The pollution's rough. Like, listen, I breathe LA air all the time, and I thought it was really tough to breathe in China, but they're also allowed to smoke in enclosed places, like on a bus. You could be on a bus for 2 hours, windows all closed, everyone's smoking, and you're like,
oh, that's so rough.
I remember that when I was a kid, though.
You do?
Oh, God, yeah. People used to smoke on buses all the time.
It, like, blows my mind because, like, you know how, like, when something's far away, you go, okay, that's that? But, like, I take the bus all the time.
Yeah.
And, like, the idea that somebody could just light up a cigarette on a bus going from Bryn Mawr to downtown, like, that blows my mind.
I have a question. I never see people smoking anymore. Now, maybe I'm not paying attention as much as I should.
They also have moved them away from buildings. Like, it used to be, like, right next to buildings.
Yeah.
And now they're like, oh, you have to be, like, 100 feet away. So I think they've also just, like, moved them
never
to
went
weird.
vapes.
Yeah.
A lot of people, which is just as bad for you, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
I wish they would understand that's just as bad as smoking a cigarette, so don't do that either.
Yeah.
Just do what Uncle Tommy does. Get the tabs. Tablets are good.
Oh, you're talking about for marijuana, because she's talking about vape, using it for nicotine.
Oh, they vape nicotine?
Yes.
Well, why don't you just buy a cigarette?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't smell as bad.
Oh, it doesn't? Oh, okay.
For us non-smokers, I'd rather be around I don't want to be around a vape, but, if you have to walk through a vape situation.
Some of those vapes are, because that synthetic-y smell. And then I was at a concert once where she dropped her vape, and then the canister broke, and it was like that oil everywhere that stinks. I mean, it's also pretty gross.
God, you're giving me this wonderful memory. Doesn't sound so wonderful when I tell you this, but we had a neighbor when I was a kid that if his kids had an earache or, maybe their nose was plugged up, they had a sore throat, their dad would puff on a cigarette and blow smoke into their ears or up their nose because he thought it would heal them. I will never forget.
Lung cancer? What?
Exactly. He thought it would heal them by blowing smoke into their ears.
I'm horrified by that idea.
All of the things that we do to avoid our kids being around any of that, and it's so funny to think that, like, that was just directly put in their kid's face.
Intentionally.
Wild.
Wow.
It was pretty weird. But smoking used to be, remember, 3 out of 5 doctors recommended smoking cigarettes, that it was good for you.
Well, yeah.
They did it in surgery. They would smoke while they're like cutting you open.
And if you're gaining too much weight while you're pregnant, they would recommend you just smoke a little, like we'll cut the weight down.
There you go. So that's called marketing, pretty much.
Kristyn, were you ever a smoker?
Mm-mm.
Really? Especially like LA early on, I feel like that was everywhere.
Yeah, not a smoker at all. And you know what? I was kind of a boring person. Like I did my drinking, like I did a little in high school, you know, in college it was fun. And then I hit 21 and I was like, but I did all my underage drinking. That was the thrill of it, I think.
Yeah.
And I was done with it.
When did you start at, like 8?
8, yeah. No, I think like around 16 in high school, like you go to a few parties and drink and stuff like that. But honestly, I have to say my friends and I were relatively responsible. We'd just be like, we're staying over, you know, Andrew's house, and we'd all just stay there. Like we wouldn't drive, and that was that. And my mom never gave me a hard time about it. And I don't know. And I think by the time I was in New York City, you know, through my college years, so that was pretty wild. And then by the time I really was legal, I was like, I've done all my wild things. I'm good.
Yeah.
It all works out. You know, because my voice dropped when I was 11 years old. My voice was like this when I was 11, right? So Tommy O'Brien, my good friend, and I adore that man to this day, he was very young looking. We were the same age, but he was a lot younger looking than me. So at, 15 years old, 14 years old, I would call the local liquor store and place an order to be delivered. Yes, I'd like 2 cases of Fox Deluxe sent to my house. Bring it up. So the guy we'd see him pull up. Tommy O'Brien would dress down to look even younger. He looked really young. And I would go in and turn on the shower. And he'd go, "Hey, Dad, the guy from the liquor store is here." "Oh, sorry, son, I'm in the shower. Just the money's on top of the TV."
Oh, my God.
That's a good scam.
I bought so much beer that way over the 5, 6, 7 years. It was, or I suppose about 5 years, from 16 to 21.
They're like, this is the cleanliest guy I've ever.
He's always in the
shower, that guy.
It's all true.
But he likes to drink.
Yeah, the money cleared.
Yes. No, we bought liquor. I started buying liquor when I was like 15 years old by using that. Yes, I'm in the shower. And by the way, I do that too. It wouldn't be just like, "Hey, I'm in the shower." It'd be, "Oh, well, son, I'm in the shower right now." Trying to sound like fatherly.
Oh, that's so funny.
That's true. It's all true.
That's an elaborate. You guys, all right. I think you earned your alcohol. I hate to say it.
But it is clever. It's a clever ruse, I will say.
It wasn't too bad at all. That's not the only thing we use my voice for, by the way, because I sounded like an adult, so we used it all the time.
I'd be calling the school and be like, "Tom, I can't be in school today."
Yeah, Tom can't make it to school today. This is his dad. Oh, I thought his dad abandoned him. I came back just for today.
Just to let him know he's sick.
Just to let him know everything's fine. So what else you got? Everything else good?
Is it good? Hollywood's on fire.
But
I was like, we're in a massive strike, and we're seeing the ramifications very quickly here.
Yeah.
I think Bob Iger is probably the guy that's in the hot seat after telling everybody on CNBC that for all the creatives to be on strike, it's unrealistic. They're not going to be able to pay them. And this is wild from the guy that's making $27 million a year plus bonuses. You know what? Take a salary cut. Take a salary cut. I dare ya. And you know, some of these, I mean, he's making around 27 plus bonuses. Other people are making upwards of like 100 million and more plus bonuses. And it's really becoming a situation between like the top level, like C-suite executives and all the creatives that are just fighting to pay their bills. This is going to be a long, dramatic fight, and everything shut down. Like the few things that were still left, like the Ryan Murphy TV shows we had talked about, Deadpool 3 over in London, everything's pretty much shut down. However, I think this is going to be this is going to be the renaissance of indie film and indie TV production, because SAG is giving waivers. If you're not associated with the studios that we're striking against, they are giving waivers and saying you can move forward and you can actually produce your content. So I have a feeling we're going to see some really cool things emerge. And maybe in a few years, we won't be watching, franchise after franchise all summer long.
No, I think that's probably true. Catherine and I got lucky because we've been looking for other things to watch. And even though, well, yeah, look, I watched Abbott Elementary last night. I think that show's phenomenal. It should win all the awards. That show's really good.
It's so good. The second season is just as good as the first.
Yes.
The characters are well developed. Quinta Brunson's one of my favorites. Again, at the rate we're going, and honestly, people need to realize that writers go back to work in June so that shows premiere in the fall. So we're already in mid-July at this point. So we're 6 weeks. We've just bumped the fall season 6 weeks. Obviously, the strike isn't ending anytime soon. So we might be at this point moving into February instead of January to see fresh content again. And that is scary to not only people that work in Hollywood, but to all of the support industries as well.
I have a question for you compared to, let's say, 20 years ago, because we have streaming now. If they struck 20 years ago, it'd be a huge thing. Now you barely notice it because Catherine and I found a couple shows that we'd never seen. The show Fringe, J.J. Abrams, that show from, I think it's 2015 or might have been 2008 to 2015. I don't know. You ever heard of the show?
Yeah, Joshua Jackson's in it, Anna Torv, great cast.
Really, really good show. And I don't know that I would have ever seen that show had it not been for the strike coming up.
Well, there is a lot of content, and we can make lists. I have a whole list that I don't know, we don't have time today, but tomorrow, of all your strong, tough women of shows that you can watch.
I love that.
Yes, I made it just for you, but I also want people to understand you are going to feel this effects come September. You roll around after Labor Day, and you're all going to be like, why are we watching game shows and reality shows? And it's going to be because of this strike, and that's the big deal. So you will feel it eventually.
I don't know. Streaming's awfully good. There are a lot of good movies out there. That we mentioned Asteroid City. Not for everybody. I do agree. But Fringe, I'd never watched one episode. Catherine, I think, had seen an episode or two, but I had never seen it.
Yeah, it was a huge hit. I'm surprised that you had missed it. Yeah.
What did you say? Like a 90 rating or something?
Yeah, it had a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it was 2008 to 2013. You know, this same thing happened to me with Friday Night Lights. I don't know how I missed it. I think I maybe was like in college or in that kind of housing where you just never like found yourself watching your little TV or whatever. And then I went back and was watching it. I was like, this is so good.
Connie Britton is just such a gem. She's one of my favorite actresses.
Great.
Yeah. We might have, you guys, we might have to make a list for like September that's big shows you might have, or shows you might have missed. And we'll have like a saved kind of document or a saved like site people can go to, just like throwing out good ideas of like what to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have my list for strong, tough women for Tom tomorrow. I mean, we can just keep on making lists all summer long because there's no real new content coming out. There's a couple shows here or there, but we're not going to see a lot from here on out. It's whatever's been banked at this point. So production is pretty much down unless it's an indie project. So I'm excited to talk about smaller TV shows and movies that will be moving forward, honestly, because we'll start to see the rise of a different type of filmmaker or TV showrunner.
Yeah.
Plus, I found this other show I'd never heard of before. It's called Gunsmoke. It's just kidding.
Gunsmoke.
Send me the link.
It's only about 70 years old.
Is it in color or black and white?
It's black and white. Yes, it is black and white. I am looking forward to finding other shows like Fringe, where Fringe was 5 seasons. I think there are 100 episodes of it. 20 episodes.
It was ABC, I believe. So.
Oh, okay. Really, really good. And I'm looking forward to finding other things like that. This streaming thing might not work out. Might not help these actors and writers too much.
But streaming right now as a business model is not working, and so that's going to be the big thing. Yeah, Disney's already looking at this point to selling off ABC. That's another thing that came out of kind of like Bob Iger's news. And also ESPN, they're looking for a buyer for that. So we are going to see probably a lot of them merge coming up in the next few years because they cannot sustain this business model. Everyone tried to catch up with what Netflix was doing, and they dumped millions of dollars into this and didn't pay the creatives. And this is why we're in this sort of perfect storm of situations right now.
Yeah, the world has changed completely. Matter of fact, I know a bunch of people got pissed off at me about 3 years ago because I was doing this little talk for I don't remember what the hell the organization was. And they asked me about the future of radio, and, we talked about television and all the rest of it. And I told them, it's not that much further down the line when radio stations are going to be used to hail cabs, and that's about it. And they got all pissed off at me, but that's the way local news is the only thing you watch on television now. That's not streaming, isn't it? And even that's streaming, if you want it to be.
The business model is going to change again. We're going to see another revolution in our lifetime. Even today, and I wish I had mentioned this to Bob, New York Times folded their sports department.
Yes.
They're now sending their readers to The Athletic. So it's really fascinating to watch how media is rapidly changing. We are all consuming content in a very different way. And Hollywood has been a little bit slow, and other industries that are sort of associated with Hollywood have been slow to adapt to all of this. But tech is 5 steps ahead of us. And if you're not paying attention, this is where we find ourselves in this like swirling down the drain situation.
And we could stay ahead of it. Obviously, some great entertainment out there, all the rest of it. The world changes, and it's, I'm sure when the phone came along, whatever that was it the 1930s or 40s or something like that? 30s, I guess.
The 30s.
I guess, I don't know. But look how that changed the world. I mean, it changed the world forever. Yeah. And we go through that constantly now. Every decade we go through one of those situations.
The iPhone was the big game changer.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
Ironically, the only thing that doesn't change is radio. It doesn't progress at all.
No, that's a very good point.
I read a meme this weekend, I'll read it to you now, that I found to be, it's so true. And I know people use it as a joke, but I'm like, if you pull back the curtain, this is so true. It says, "Joke's on you, hot chick at the bar who gave me a radio station's phone number. I just won Harlem Globetrotter tickets and a Bud Light poncho." We've been giving away Harlem Globetrotter tickets and Bud Light ponchos for 25 years now. It's the same as it was back in the mid-90s as it is today. It has not progressed. I worked on a radio station one time that gave out light bulbs.
What?
Light bulbs. It gave out.
What do you do with light bulbs?
You want a packet of light bulbs and toothbrushes. That's what we gave away. That was radio. That was the big afternoon prize that you could win. It's the phrase that pays. You get light bulbs.
I mean, I would almost take that over can koozies at this point in my life. Like a
I
pack
don't
of
want a koozie.
No, I like a pack of light bulbs. At least I'll use at some point.
If I want a pack of koozies, I'd give them a fake address because I'm like, I don't even want them arriving at my house.
No.
I understand that completely. All right, young lady, get back to work. Let's go.
I will. I'll see you all tomorrow, and I've got my list ready to go. It's right here. Woohoo.
Sounds good. Thank you, my dear.
Bye-bye.
We got 2 people coming on and spots all at the same time. How the hell are we going to do that?
Well, we're going to, I thought we were going to have our in-studio guest here already. They were supposed to be here at 7:45.
Yeah.
That's why I figured we'd put Chris now because he's calling from the other side of the globe. So we'd put him now. We'd push spots back just a little bit to be able to get 8 minutes in with him. But he hasn't called yet either. Are we on a different time schedule than everybody else? This is Central Time,
Yes, we're
correct?
on time.
Okay.
We better do the spots then.
We can do that now.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, we can do that.
We'll be right back right after this. Chris Miller will join us. Chris Egert will join us. We got 2 Chris's this hour. Now we're talking. Right back.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
We've been hearing about the new technology offered at Twin Cities Premier Health for the treatment of ED. This is one of those topics that can get uncomfortable to talk about, but the truth is, if new technology can improve your life by treating the root cause of most erectile dysfunction, why wouldn't we want to talk about it? Look, I've been going there I think I'm on my 6th treatment this week. Things go very well. It takes about 10, 15 minutes, not a big deal at all. It's a non-invasive, non-surgical, highly effective science-based procedure that creates an increase in blood flow and helps create new blood vessels by treating the root cause of most erectile dysfunction. If, like so many of my listeners, you aren't interested in continuing to take a pill to create a pharmaceutically induced erection and wipe all the spontaneity out, reach to the Twin Cities Premier Health like I did and right now receive this special offer. A free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. This is valued at $800, 952-395-4346. That's my unique phone number, 952-395-4346 for their office. Or go to TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. Be sure to tell them Tom Barnard sent you. So, if you've been following my progress with MinnesotaFatLoss.com, I've lost right at 27 pounds, and you can too with the MNFatLoss.com summer special, $200 off, now only through July 30th. I'm going into my maintenance phase. I can't recommend this program any higher. Of course, any fat loss program is going to take some effort, but honestly, with MNFatLoss.com comes secret to fat loss. This program was way easier than I expected. The maintenance program allows me to add back in some more of the foods I love and still maintain my weight loss. You will absolutely be able to lose weight like I've done and save $200 with their summer special. $200 off. Now through July 30th. If you want to find out the secret to losing 20 to 30 pounds in just 8 weeks, just like I'm doing, that's about a pound of fat every day. No exercise required. To schedule your free consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com. Results may vary. Be sure to tell the team at mnfatloss.com that Tom Barnard sent you. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We got Chris Egert waiting to come on. What's happening, Chrissy?
We can bring Chris on right now.
Yeah, may as well. I just pop him up there.
There you go. There he
Hi.
is.
Chrissy Egert.
I was cutting to the last minute there because somebody ruined the studio here and they had it all ripped apart, so I had to set it all up again.
I don't know what's going on in the world, but nothing is going right today. And I mean,
really?
nothing is going right today. It's like,
well,
what the hell?
I'm glad to know it's not just me then.
No,
I
it
guess.
literally sweeps the country or the world or something. You have those days when everybody you talk to is like, I don't know what the hell is going on, but nothing's going right.
I hate
Today's
to
the day.
always kind of go with the blame it on the Monday thing, but yeah, I guess that does seem to be a thing.
Could be. Now, I have to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Well, no, it's more give you a compliment than ask you a question. I'd like to thank Channel 5 Eyewitness News because I watch it every morning now. I watch you every morning and I
hear it
today and all the rest of it. And I think it's so cool that you hired a 9-year-old. What's her name? Rochelle something? She's a reporter, wears glasses. What the hell's her name? Roxanne? Is that
Renee.
it? Is it Renee what?
Renee.
Renee what?
Cooper, I think.
Yeah, that's her. She's
Yeah.
like, what, 9, 10 years old, something like
She's
that?
not 9. She just has a very youthful look.
She has she's terrific. What I love about her, and I'm being very serious, she looks very youthful and very innocent, but she's a damn good reporter.
She is a good reporter.
She's
She
really good, yeah.
She works I know she works some days during the week, but she also does the weekend. And she was covering the story for us yesterday of the police officer from Fargo who was killed, who
that's exactly right.
originally grew up in St. Michael. So that was the story that she was working on yesterday.
23 years old.
I know.
Shot to death, a 23-year-old.
Doesn't even feel like 23 is old enough to be. Yeah, I just so young.
I know it's terrible, no question. But I just. Yeah, that was tough to watch because they had the mayor of St. Michael, I think. Was that who it was that was on your show?
So.
I think it was the mayor.
Yeah.
He did a great job, too, talking about how horrible it is a 23-year-old wanted to be a police officer. He took a job up in Fargo and ends up getting killed. A very, very tough story. But you guys do a damn good job on that, on the news, because back in the day, when I was on the air at 5:30, I never got to watch. You guys are on what time now? Like 4:30, 5 o'clock for the first show?
Crew goes on at 4:30.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like this morning I was watching it at 4:30, and I didn't know if that was I assumed it was live, and it is live. But
do you always get up that early?
No, not all. It was only I wanted to get some exercise this morning, so I went a few miles this morning before coming in. It's kind of weird, and I don't know why, but when I wake up in the morning once in a while, I go, today's going to be odd, and I don't know why. But it has been across the board. It's just been a very weird day. Why does that happen? Is it?
I don't know. I'm with you, though. I'm totally with you. I actually was kind of feeling it last night. Maybe it's a self-fulfilling prophecy that you go to bed Sunday night and you're already thinking like, oh, God, this week's going to be jacked. So you kind of get it stuck in your head, and then it just sort of, I don't know.
No, I don't think it's stuck in my head that somebody wouldn't show up for their interview.
No.
That was not stuck in my head, so it all works out in the end.
Maybe they were stuck in Chicago for a girls' basketball tournament and totally forgot that they were supposed to be here.
It's a possibility. There's a possibility.
It's very specific, Chris Egert.
I mean, it can happen, right, Rudy?
Absolutely.
Yes,
it can
absolutely.
happen. No, I mean, it's slogging along. If I were supposed to have a guest here who also didn't show up, so we'll see what the hell's going on, but that's cool.
That's exciting.
It's just one of those days, man, where nothing so far has gone right. It's just weird. News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation, bringing you Chris Egert. But, yeah, I watch you guys every morning. I think you do a hell of a job. Well, I was the voice of Channel 5 Eyewitness News for, 20 years, 25 years?
Quite a while, right?
A long time. So I've always been a fan. And, I mean, what am I going to do? Watch somebody else's news when I've known, the family since the current big shot over there? I think she was like 8 years old or 7 years old or some damn thing.
That's wild.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, like you have to, you just have to support that person. Sorry.
I've known her my whole life. I have to support. Even when I was up against her, I had to support her.
I know.
So no, she's a very sweet person.
How
God,
old are
tell
you,
her I said
Tom?
that. 71.
71?
Uh-huh.
I thought you were 71. So this is interesting. ABC released their new Bachelor this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And he's 71.
Yeah.
And it's a whole big thing because he's an older gentleman. Have you guys seen him?
No.
Mm-mm.
Look up, just Google it right now. The dude looks like he's 45.
I know. It's true.
He's got like perfect teeth and tan, and he's all svelte.
Oh, I would hit that. I would hit that. That guy is hot.
See, 71, baby. Well, 71's not old anymore anyway. Yeah, I mean, people live to be, a lot of people live. My Aunt Marianne, I adore my Aunt Marianne. This fall, she's going to be 90 years old. You wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah.
I mean, 90 years old back in the day, I was like, oh my God, they're going to go any minute. Not anymore.
Well, 71 didn't seem particularly old to me, right?
No,
but I
not
guess
anymore.
Considering you've got, the normal crew on that show is 20 to 30-year-olds tops. I guess I was expecting something different. Like this guy looks like he came like straight out of Hollywood.
Is he really?
Yeah, I was gonna say the one problem I have with him is he's like, there's too much like filters, fillers. He looks a little bit phony-esque. That's like not my type at all. Like
You said
Oh, really?
your exact quote was, "I'd hit it like 30 seconds."
I just mean like when I first saw the photo, his body legit, his face okay, but like, I mean, I've done worse. I'll say that.
No, I have a friend, as a matter of fact, who's about to turn 80. If you looked at him, there is no way you'd think he was over like 55 or 60. No way.
Yeah.
People are just look a lot younger than they used. And he didn't go through a bunch of, facial changes and all that stuff. It's just people don't age as much as they used to. Yeah, I mean, God, I suppose that has to do with smoking and drinking and all that stuff. People don't do that anywhere near as much as they used to.
I would think that might have a lot to do with it, actually.
Right. So I guess in the long run, that's a good thing, right?
Would you, if Catherine weren't in the picture, would you ever consider like doing a show like that or something?
No. God, no.
I watched.
I don't even want to do this show, for Christ's sake. It's a pain in the ass every day.
Fair, but I would pay top dollar to watch you be the
Oh,
best.
I would watch that so hardcore.
I'd have to do the Richard Pryor thing, though. I would, and they'd be all offended by it, but I'd have to walk out and look at the women and go, bitch, what's wrong with you? See, I'd have to go with the Richard Pryor. I loved Richard Pryor more than any comedian ever born.
Funny dude.
Tom would
God,
go,
he was funny.
like on one day, these people go on like 2 or 3 dates, right?
they
like
do?
the guy
Okay.
does. Tom would be half through one date and be like, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm done for the day. Like, I don't want to do."
Look at the
Look
time.
at the time.
Why? What's wrong with it? What did they get?
I just mean you'd be exhausted for having to like pretend to care about 3 potential mates, like.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Because you have to be fake. You have to be
That
fake.
would be
Because you
tough.
can't possibly be enthralled with 3 people on 3 dates, including like skydiving and then like deep, underwater fishing. Like you do all these like big things too. They're not like
scuba dive and all that stuff. Huh?
And they do all the things on The
Really?
Bachelor. It's like very much so next, and then always like cue sob story. And my big thing I would suck at is they have to sit there with their meals on their plate and talk. And the whole time I'd be like, oh, I want to eat this so bad. Like, I just want to eat my food so bad as I were like, tell us your most traumatizing stories. You're like, as a kid, I was never allowed to play with the other kids. And I'd just be like staring at the food like, when can we eat this? Full-on spaghetti.
I would just eat, because if you can't eat around them, then you got no shot of that relationship going anywhere, right?
But it's not because they can't eat around each other. It's because for editing, the show is done, they try to do it in such an efficient way that they play with, when people say things. And so they don't want to mess with the food because it would be an issue with like, only half was, you know what I mean? So they literally... Continuity, thank you, yes.
Ooh, continuity,
Mr.
pardon
TV.
me. Yeah, I'm a continuity.
That's
kind
my
of guy.
business,
Yes, indeed. So any big headlines coming up in the news this morning?
We had those officers, the situation in Fargo over the weekend. That
I
was
saw
that was obviously a big story. And there's a fire at an apartment or a condo townhouse like complex in Otsego this morning.
I saw that too.
I think we were just getting some new video into the newsroom a little bit ago, which apparently was fairly dramatic. There's also a Morrison County Sheriff's deputy who was hit in Piers. It sounds like he was doing like traffic enforcement after some kind of an event, and he got hit. Which so was not a good weekend for law enforcement officers. Another reminder.
He was
how
standing in the
dangerous
street.
that is.
He was standing in the street directing traffic.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
very
what it sounds
dangerous.
like. And then obviously the big lotto, man. Everyone's all about the lottery thing. The Powerball's pushing $1 billion.
I heard you say that this morning, watching you.
That's insane.
$1 billion, and you would end up if they do the buyout on you. Would you end up with like $600 million or something?
I think something like that.
That's good. We'll take that.
I right now am at a point where I would almost kill a man for about $7.
Why is that, Chris Egert?
I don't know, just everything. I can't even. You can't even wrap your head around how life changing a lottery win like that. And that would like generations and generations of people, of your family, theoretically.
I knew a couple that won the lottery. I think they won like $11 million when it was all said and done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it changed their lives forever. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it did. Very nice people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, have you ever known anybody who's won a lottery?
One of my friends' brother won a pretty significant amount. And I think I just met him at his kid's graduation party a couple weeks ago. But he didn't have a monocle on the top hat or anything, so I didn't know it was him.
Well, there you go. Like,
get it? Because he's rich from Monopoly.
Yeah, I got it. It was a Monopoly guy.
Oh, sorry. Will you explain it more so we can laugh?
They're not big into doing that anyway, Chris, so don't worry about it.
Wow. And then I was just reading this before I came in here today in the New York Times. Well, I started reading it because I couldn't completely read it because they've got a paywall. But apparently divorce parties are the new hot thing.
Divorce party? Or having a house party?
Like having a party to celebrate your broken marriage.
Why is failing a good thing?
Well, I think that it's like, what did they say? The end of an era. They throw themselves a party. They call it the end of an era.
You know what, though? I would actually be more apt at this point to be invited to a divorce party and give a present than when you have somebody, that has happy stuff going on, because maybe they need a party more, and maybe they actually need a toaster. Unlike, me in my 30s when I got married to Justin, we had 2 toasters. The last thing we needed was more stuff. So maybe there's more of a reason to have a registry.
That does make, I never even thought about it from just the practical standpoint. I think the whole deal is like just an emotional thing, like party, you're rid of him now. You go, girl.
But maybe they need that mantra, because they're crying at night and they just need everyone around them to be like, you're going to do great. This is the first day of the rest of your life. And they're like at home then.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, a lot of anger and sadness, boy. Let's celebrate that, shall we?
Yeah. Right.
Support your friends, though. Yeah, support your friends. I've had friends that got divorced.
It's rough.
It is not easy for them, I'll tell you that.
We had a couch that made the rounds in our family for several years that we called the divorce couch.
Okay. And what was that all about?
I'm scared. Is it like an omen? Like, if I get it, will I get a divorce?
No, it was at the point in your marriage when things weren't working out anymore and you were starting off on your own.
Yeah, you got the
divorce couch would be there for you and to help you decorate wherever it is that you're moving now. It made the rounds in my family. It was kind of like a really funny thing that we always joke about the divorce.
That's really funny. It's an omen after the fact.
Yes. I got to tell you, and it's all perception. There's no question about it. And Andy and Alex still bring it up once in a while. Catherine and I got into an argument once. And we didn't like to argue in front of the kids. I just don't think that's a good idea. But we got in an argument about, I don't remember what it was, but it was not heated, but it was teetering on it. Many years later, I still have Andy and Alex going, remember that time Mom and you almost got divorced? It's like, what? What are you talking
I wonder where they get their drama from?
Yeah, Catherine, there's no question about it. There's no getting around. She's very dramatic. There's no question about that. But no, they literally thought the one argument we had in front of them that we were getting a divorce.
That was it, huh?
It's like, no.
God, I'd hate to imagine what my kids think.
Boy, it's got to be a bitch to go through a divorce like that. My mother and father my father was gone, so it was kind of a fake divorce because he was never coming back anyway. So that's got to be tough going through divorce, man.
I really, I have, obviously we've all had several friends or had it ourselves or, whatever the sitch might be.
Yep.
I have the utmost respect for people who can work out the kid thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The parents co-parent in a very cordial relationship. They put the kid first. I think that's very admirable.
Yeah, it's huge.
I know it wasn't really that way for me when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think I don't even think they really even wanted to look at each other. And,
God.
So I do. And I think that's the right way to do it. Right. But it takes a big person to be able to do it.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. I guess, to make this not political, because I don't mean for this to be political at all, so I won't identify who it is. You'll know who it is anyway, I guess, but I don't want to bring it up. I don't understand how it is that your son can have a child with another woman they're not married, but they have a child, and you will not acknowledge that child, filed suit to make sure that child didn't use your last name. I mean, it's still your grandkid. I don't care how the kid got there. It's your bloodline. It's still I don't know how the hell you could treat your own grandchild like that. I just don't get it.
I assume you're talking about Joe Biden has.
Yeah. They went out of their way to piss all over that little kid, and I didn't want to make this political. I was just talking about a generation to generation thing.
Yeah, I have no idea how that would happen. I mean,
oh God, that's horrible.
Yeah,
it's a little kid.
Yeah,
don't do that.
Anytime I hear any stories like that, I just want to be like, we have a bunk bed. Like, I'll take the kid. Like, just
exactly.
give me the child. Like,
I love kids, man.
Like,
I love them.
How? In what world? I mean. In what world? In what world would you have this grandkid out there and you're financially doing well? Because I know there are situations where it is the right move to make for people to put up their kids for adoption.
Yeah, I understand that.
And absolutely. And you do what you
Better
have
for
to
the
do.
Kid.
Yeah, you do what you have to do. If you're barely surviving or you just don't have the mental, physical, actual resources
I understand
to raise
that.
a kid.
Yep.
But if you do and you don't want that child in your family, I don't understand you. We will never see eye to eye. I don't understand how you just don't go, well, as a family, we take this kid in. This is our kid.
That's what you do. I mean, I don't know whatever. But you can't. You made sure legally she couldn't use their last name.
I mean, why?
What are you doing?
Why?
Like, calm down. Now, I'll give you the opposite of that. Fawn, my daughter's daughter, my granddaughter, 7 years old. She went to see Cirque du Soleil yesterday.
Yeah.
She thought she was in heaven, for Christ's sake.
Oh, I bet.
She was so excited and just couldn't believe all this wonder in front of her. See, that's what little kids are all about, man. Enjoy that. Step up.
You would have thought yesterday, so me and Gogo jumped in with Rudy and his family. We're celebrating Father's Day at the brewery near us, so they invited us. You would have thought Gogo was at the same kind of caliber of event. The way that she was getting passed around and people were letting her play with things on the table. Like, it's just so cool when you're around.
I guess, Chris, you and I don't get invited to these things, huh? That's,
you want to come? You want to come to a Chanhassen brewery?
No.
I know.
Is that the one that used to be the Perkins? That's a brewery now.
You know what? It has the look of an old Perkins. So yeah,
it is.
Yeah, I bet that's the one.
It's right next to
Taco Bell,
the Sub place, and the Taco Bell and all that.
Yeah,
that used to be a Perkins.
Yeah. When we pulled up, I was like, they did not build this as a standalone for a brewery. You could tell, like when you drive past an old Pizza Hut, but it says H&R Block, you're like, that was a Pizza Hut. It had a look of like an old chain restaurant. So so that makes sense that it was a Perkins. Yeah.
I got a buddy who bartends there from time to time, so I haven't been there yet. Is it good?
Great beers.
It was so fun too, because I had like a half second pulling up where I was like, should I have brought Gogo? Like, I'm bringing Gogo to a bar. And then I pulled up and they have this great backyard with like fun stuff. And then key is Rudy and his friends and family are like so obsessed with babies. I didn't hold my baby once. And that is a win when you're at an event.
But I mean, the joy of the children was comparable to what I was talking about.
Absolutely.
Isn't that great? I love that.
And, you know, Rudy's daughter, who I love, who I'm like still trying to make her admit that we're best friends, but she's a teenager. So we're working on that. And then like Rudy has a niece, Alice, who kept walking around with Go-Go. It was just your vibe. You wouldn't have wanted to go, but you would have had a blast if we would have invited you.
Which you're never going to, so it'll all work out in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe next time.
Oh, yeah, forget it. You had your chance. Now you're out. You're out of the mix.
You're such a baby.
Yeah.
So on the Cirque du Soleil thing, Tom, did they talk? Somebody was telling me that they one of the coolest parts of that was they had some people suspended in balloons.
Yes.
Like bouncing all around the crowd.
And running into crowd members.
People could push them up. Which is insane to me.
No way. You were there too?
No.
Oh, but
I heard
Fawn
that,
told you every little detail.
Oh,
I'm sure.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's insane.
He's trying to, hey, Bop, why don't we get some balloons and float you around the room? I was like, yeah, good. What a great idea. Good plan.
I know, right? You've made such a magical childhood to them that the casual asks that they have are hilarious.
But see, that's jumping back to that again. And again, this is not a political thing at all. It's about being a grandfather and a father and being responsible and all the rest of it. Why do you want that joy out of little children? Are nothing but joy unless you raise them wrong, and that's your fault. But I don't know how you could do that. I would just to hear that little 7-year-old so damn excited about, because she had never heard of Cirque du Soleil before. She'd never seen it before, obviously. It just. And, you know, you get out there 4 years, well, he's now 5, their son. He gets out there, and he's got a golf club in his hand. He can hit a ball like 150 yards already, and he's 5 years old.
Yeah.
And he just loves that. Watching the joy from that kind of thing is a huge part of life for me, no doubt.
Sage came to our house. And,
Sagey.
Yeah, and we have a net in our basement. My husband's obsessed with golf. And he looked at Sage like, how do we make this happen? He kept hitting balls into the net.
Yeah,
it was
Sage is he's going to be a good player.
I know. It was
He is,
pretty
no
fun
doubt
to
about
watch
it.
him.
Which I don't know. It's not a bloodline thing because he's got grandpa and he's got his father, and we're both okay. So there you go.
Is Alex good at golf?
Not yet. She would be if she ever gave a rat's ass.
Yeah.
Catherine is really good, but she doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, that's not fair. So, 5'11", weighs about 110 pounds or something.
Yeah.
You can really get those arms back there and get them through. And no, don't walk away from joy in your life by just because it doesn't look good to you, or your son got drunk and had sex with a woman, or what. So a child came from it. Calm down, right?
Yeah.
Relax. Have fun.
My mom is the worst. So when I was a teenager.
My mom is the worst.
Well, when I was a teenager,
That's
she
nice.
used to tell me, Brittany, if you got pregnant, it really wouldn't be that bad.
Well, see?
Oh, God.
Now, that's a family attitude right there.
She's like, we would raise it. We'd have fun. I was like, okay, good to know, but let's try to wait that one out a little. But
no question.
that was my mom's baby crazy. And
Yeah,
so
but who
am
isn't?
I know.
I
right?
love little kids are the best.
Yeah.
Although they will say things to you that it's like, don't talk to me like that. What the hell's wrong with you?
Oh, Go-Go already has this ability to make me feel this big.
Oh, yeah.
She'll do this like run up to me where she's with her arms out and then like an immediate turnaround to her dad. And I'm like, betrayal. Like the shade is real.
Yeah, wait till she's 16 doing that.
I can't. I keep going, she won't be that way, right?
That is a different world, isn't it? So what else is in the news? Anything good?
Oh, good. Yeah, we had a nice story about I don't know that it's a good story. It could be a good story. It was down in Carver County. This big, cute St. Bernard somehow got stuck in the mud.
Oh.
And somebody who was passing by on a kayak or a canoe, they called the sheriff's office and they came out and rescued the dog because it couldn't get out of the mud. And we have a picture of it. It's just this big old St. Bernard. He's just covered in mud. He looks like he's probably like an adolescent. He's not like big and girthy yet. He's just, kind of lanky. That was a really cute story we had this morning. But I don't know the backstory. Like, I don't know how the dog ended up there.
Whose dog is it?
it got reunited with the owner. I guess I'm not gonna assume anything. I don't know what the backstory is, but it was a nice, they saved the dog, Tom. That's a nice story.
That is a very nice story, no question about it. And particularly a Saint Bernard, of course. They're
cool dogs. Have you guys ever had one or known anybody who had one?
I fostered one.
Did you?
Yeah, it was 130 pounds.
Oh.
And it was 30 pounds underweight.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
His name was Pickles, and if Pickles didn't want to do something, he just laid down, and you're like, okay. Like, if he didn't want to come inside, I was like, come on, Pickles. He's like, no, and I'm like, good point. Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, that's a big dog.
Yeah, I love that dog.
What's so funny about that? Big dogs, my whole life I've been dealing with this because some people find it really stupid, but I kind of like it. My father's last name was Bernard. My mother's last name was Dane. So you got Saint Bernard and Great Dane.
Those are
the two biggest dogs on earth, aren't they?
And they made this big dog.
They made this big dog.
Big dog.
You big. What are you? Oh, you're getting clipped up for the news?
Oh, make sure the continuity's okay.
What the hell's that all about? Get the earplugs in.
And... must be nice to be TV.
I just put my earplug in. It's fine.
No, you just moving on. By the way, thank you for announcing today that Hannah's on her way back. I saw that on TV today.
I'm glad you caught that. Yes,
so that's good.
I just texted her a couple weeks ago, and she said sometime in August, which it reminds me I've got to send her a gift because I haven't done that yet.
Well, that's all right. It's only been 7-8 months. What the hell?
Yeah, the kid's already going off to college.
If you need any good ideas, I can send you some links.
Okay. My idea is I'm a pretty practical guy. Like, I'm going to send 8 boxes of diapers.
Oh, that's
oh,
so legit. So legit, yeah.
No question about it. But so she's happy. Everybody's healthy. Everything's good.
I think so. Yeah, she's been posting a bunch of pictures of the little baby on Facebook, and it's so cute. You forget how little they are.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a chunk of a little kid, but oh my gosh, he just seems tiny. He's like a little football, and I'm like, oh dear, they used to be that size, didn't they?
Did you tell her that I miss her walking behind you during the show every day?
I can't wait for her to come back and be able to.
I agree. She's terrific. I've never met her in person, I don't think.
She's a very fun person to have around. She's one of the people who would never, if it was the crappiest day in the world, she would never, let on to it or show any, she's just a pretty positive person, which is good. We all need somebody like that in our lives.
Yeah, don't we?
Yeah.
Where am I going to find one?
I don't know, but it's hard after Chris's segment when you were like, a dog was rescued, but who knows his circumstances after he gets out of the mud.
I'm just saying, I don't want to call it a happy ending. I'm just being real. I'm just being realistic. I don't know what happened.
Let us enjoy a win once in a while.
Listen, I'm not going to sit. I had a big conversation with my son about something about this last night. I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I don't know X, Y, Z. If that makes me a bad person, Brittany, then I'm a bad person.
No, I'm sure there's other reasons, so don't worry. We'll cover our bases there.
What was that? I just read your lips there, buddy.
Yep. I didn't say it, though, did I?
You didn't say it, but I saw your lips, man. Really?
We'll add it in post.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. Good. I had by the way, speaking of that, somebody texted me something you posted on social last week about the new nickname or something or other.
Mm-hmm.
Did Chris get a new nickname? Rudy's joke of Egert.
Yeah.
Anyways, that finally one of my friends saw it and texted it to me this morning. So I hope you're happy with yourselves.
You should be thanking us.
I don't think anyone was ever going along with the nickname. I have no.
I think not.
Nobody's jumped on board with that one just yet.
No.
He's trying to make it happen at the workplace. Did you guys hear? People are calling me this.
Yep.
I got to ask you a question. I was asking these guys about, what's his name, Gilgo?
Yeah.
The killer? They don't even know who that is.
Well, Gilgo was the name of the beach, I think.
That's Gilgo Beach, yeah, Long Island.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember what the dude's last name was, but what a...
Yeah, it's like Henneman or something like that. I don't know. It's something like that. But did I tell you yet about the 5 emails I've gotten? And probably more by now, the 5 emails I've gotten. 3 from people I know and 2 from listeners. Boy, that guy could be your cousin. Oh, thank you. He's a mass murderer, and he looks just like me. That's great news.
I didn't think he looked like you.
Good. Brittany doesn't either.
I don't either. I think that's a stretch.
But he does look like he looks like he could be anyone's uncle.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Totally.
Right? Like just sort of like, hey, I've seen that guy at the church potluck. Like he just sort of has that
right.
regular. Yeah. God, what a. It sounds like it's gonna be like they might have this might just be the tip of the iceberg on that too. It sounds like.
Don't think there's probably a total of 11 or 12 women that he killed over the years.
And apparently searching his phone records and stuff, he has still been regularly interacting with, prostitutes or sex workers or whatever. I don't know what the politically correct word is. Sorry if I used the wrong word, but
have they ever figured out psychologically what that's all about, that you want to reach out and have sex with someone and then kill them? I don't really understand that.
I don't know, but there was a show on Netflix, Mindhunter, that came out.
Oh yeah, good show.
Oh my God, what a good show, but you're also like disturbing all at the same time. And they didn't renew that. Like it just ended, right? Like I was very disappointed by that.
Yeah, what was the guy again? The Mindhunter.
It was
the famous guy.
Oh, the one who actually made the book and did the profiling.
Yeah,
I forget his name.
What the hell was his name again? Really, really good.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Used to have him on once in a while talking about that stuff. Creepier than hell.
Johnny Douglas, or no? Johnny Douglas.
Is that who it is?
Yes, serial. He was the one. The character is based on the pioneering FBI agent Robert K. Ressler as well. They had based on two. Yeah.
It's a tough road to hoe, man. So what else you got going today, Mr. Egert?
Coming up on Minnesota Live, we're gonna sample.
I'm talking about your personal life.
Able Skeevers. That's my personal life. You ever heard of that?
Able Skeever.
Yeah, it's like some Danish like apple dough ball sweet thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know nothing
I'm
about
looking forward to that, Tom. That is my work, but it's also the biggest thing I have to look forward to personally today.
Well, it's more than I got, so consider yourself lucky.
You want me to drop one by?
An apple skeever? What is it?
I'll bring you an able skeever.
Able skeever.
Able skeever.
So it's apple is an able in Scandinavia?
Yes, I guess.
I did not know that.
I don't know. I'm going to find out.
Okay, well, give us a report tomorrow.
I will. I don't even know whether we're going to get the able skeevers, which I will be really disappointed.
Nothing is worse as being a part of a segment where you don't get the food after.
Yeah, they're like, oh, these things are so good, blah blah blah, and then you don't have any. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, that's depressing.
Why wouldn't they give one to the host? That's weird.
Well, the ladies out in Tyler because they have like able skeever days or something.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm. From a practical standpoint, I'm guessing we don't have any able skeevers today.
Okay.
Looks like you're headed for those Fritos up next.
Yep, going to be walking right over there for some Fritos or some peanut M&Ms.
All right, Pally, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, you guys have a good day.
You too. Thanks a lot. Chris Egert, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a break. Be right back in just a couple of minutes.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live on the Tom Barnard Show app or at tombarnardshow.com.
We've been hearing about the new technology offered at Twin Cities Premier Health for the treatment of ED. This is one of those topics that can get uncomfortable to talk about, but the truth is, if new technology can improve your life by treating the root cause of most erectile dysfunction, why wouldn't we want to talk about it? Look, I've been going there I think I'm on my 6th treatment this week. Things go very well. It takes about 10, 15 minutes, not a big deal at all. It's a non-invasive, non-surgical, highly effective science-based procedure that creates an increase in blood flow and helps create new blood vessels by treating the root cause of most erectile dysfunction. If, like so many of my listeners, you aren't interested in continuing to take a pill to create a pharmaceutically induced erection and wipe all the spontaneity out, reach to the Twin Cities Premier Health like I did and right now receive this special offer. A free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. This is valued at $800, 952-395-4346. That's my unique phone number, 952-395-4346 for their office. Or go to TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. Be sure to tell them Tom Barnard sent you. There's plenty of thoughts that come into your head when you think the name Killebrew. Of course, there's the Minnesota baseball legend, Harmon, who was responsible for many a favorite memory at the old Met Stadium in Bloomington, and many a baseball that ended up in the stands and in the gloves of adoring fans from his home runs. There's Killebrew Drive, the legendary road that connects Highway 77 to the Mall of America, and a day of shopping you'll never forget. My current thoughts for the name Killebrew is fun floats in our kitchen with my kids and grandkids, a cool, refreshing break in between innings at Target or CHS Field. Or maybe a perfect sunset paired with a sweet, frothy beverage after fishing or on your favorite walleye lake. Killebrew root beer and cream soda. Grab a six-pack at a grocery or convenience store near you. I'm Tom Barnard. This spring and summer, enjoy the one Killebrew root beer and cream soda. Gluten and caffeine-free with a generous portion of delicious thrown in. Killebrew, where memories are created and legends are made. On MyPillow's 20-year anniversary with over 80 million pillows sold, Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen-size MyPillow's regular price is $69.98, now only $19.98 and just $10 more for king size. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts your exact individual needs to help you get the best sleep ever. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to get Mike's amazing offer on the queen-size MyPillow for only $19.98. Enter promo code TOM. In addition to this special anniversary offer on the MyPillows, you will also receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, My Slippers, and so much more. Take advantage of the biggest sale in MyPillow's history. Go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to take advantage of Mike's special offer on his MyPillow. That's MyPillow.com, promo code TOM. Well, your plan's working, sister, so move forward. You heard me.
We're doing a good job at that.
Indeed. I don't know what this is all about. Maybe we could all learn something at the same time. We all have people in our lives who are always late for everything. Alex. Anyway.
Is she you're always late?
Alex?
Yeah.
At least a half hour.
Was it always that way? Was it
always?
Okay, so it's not the kids thing.
No. She's always been late.
I have a friend who's always late, and it drives me crazy. I'll even lie to her about the time.
Oh, yeah, we do that now. If you could be here at, let's see, the thing starts at noon. If you could be here at 11:30, that'd be really great.
I did it yesterday to my girlfriend.
What's that?
She goes, what time are we leaving? I said 11 a.m.
There you go.
We were not leaving until 11 a.m. We were leaving at 11:30. And guess who walked in the door at 11:27?
Oh, yeah.
And was she like, I'm sorry, I'm late?
Yeah, that's how I knew. She was like, oh, are we ready to go? I was like, yep. And she's like, am I on time? And I was like, you are, because I told you a half hour earlier so you would get here on time.
Was she mad?
Not at all, because she knows who she is.
Know thyself, right?
Yeah. So why do that? Because Alex doesn't know why she's always late. I've asked her, why are you always late? And she has no idea. Does she know why she's always late?
No, but I think there is something magic.
I was talking to Rudy.
Oh,
there.
sorry.
I don't know if you noticed that. I was looking right at him and everything.
Okay.
Don't worry about that.
I would say the reason why, and I feel it's more with women than it is with men, that women are definitely much more later than men. You don't think so?
Justin is. If it was up to Justin, we'd be late all the time. I'm neurotic, though.
Really?
Yeah, I can't do late.
Is that a radio deal, you think?
I don't know, maybe military.
Oh, military. Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Even with the baby, if I say, I have to literally go, hey, I can't come until she wakes up from a nap. Is that okay? Like, I clear everybody, like, what's going on, because I hate that feeling. If I hate it. I hate being late. I have anxiety around it. I'm like, let's just get in the car and go there. Sometimes I'll be at things and be like 2 blocks down on my phone because I don't want to be the creepy one who's 15 minutes early.
Yeah. Well, isn't that part of that, you think, like voiceover and cutting commercials, being on the radio?
Right.
You always have to be on time for that stuff.
Yeah. Rudy, you're both really punctual, so maybe that is a radio thing.
It might be.
Yeah, I hate showing up somewhere. I know it's cliche, but that old adage of if you are on time, you're late.
Yeah.
I hate that. Like, be early. Be early. Yeah, be there right away.
Well, then I get in my head about parking and about things like that. And if I'm with the baby, we're even earlier. And that's like been really probably good for me, is that accepting that I could be 5 minutes late. Like, let's change the baby quick. Let's, like take some of that anxiety off me because people are okay with it. But even when we went to that high dinner, I was there like 15 minutes early because I was like, you never know with parking. This is Minneapolis.
Sure. What's a high dinner?
The restaurant's called High.
Oh, it's called High. The restaurant is, okay. I don't know why people are. I think maybe it is the fact that I've been in a business now since I was a teenager, so I'm just I am hardly ever late.
Is Catherine really punctual as well?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Not always, but pretty much.
Does sometimes she tell you to like calm down because you want to get in the car 10 minutes earlier than you were planning to?
No, she's pretty good about that
Yeah.
stuff.
Because I'm like, my husband, I'll say, let's leave by 7. And all of a sudden I'll be like, you know what? It's 6:50. We should just leave. And he's like, calm down.
Why does he want to hang out?
I don't know. He's more lackadaisical. And him and Alex have that in common. And I feel like that's probably, in some ways, like somewhere in the meeting in the middle is a better way to be. Because it usually is fine if you roll in at that time or a minute late. And the anxiety I have around it is debilitating. Like, I am learning more and more that, especially with this 1-year-old, that you just don't know what time you're going to get places sometimes.
Well, I mean, I'll give you an example. This show starts at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
We're always here before the show.
Yeah.
The family show, well, now it starts at like 10:25, I think it is, something like that. We have people showing up. They'll be. It's like my family. Well, Andy's always on time. He's always here before anybody else is. But Catherine and Alex can. Well, I'll be there. See, that's the one. Yeah, for the podcast, Catherine is late once in a while.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it just. I guess that's what it is. Since I was a teenager, I had to be on time to start shows. So it's just in my head to be on time.
There's less repercussions for a woman when she's late.
Oh, really?
Are you sure?
Yes. I will die on this hill, because go ahead and ask any guy who's ever gone on a date, like in your 20s, and a girl shows up 37 minutes late for the date. Guess who's still going to sit at that restaurant for an extra 37 minutes? Where for a guy who's showing up, she's not waiting that long.
I do have to say there is an uneven amount of prep that needs to happen for me to look date ready than it is for you to look date ready.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean, you guys are ready right now, looking great, but like.
She doubled back. Yeah. Oh, you look fantastic. That's what I meant.
You could go with a rose and sit at a table and attract every little bee in the restaurant. But yeah, maybe the repercussions, but like work-wise, I think it falls the same, right? If I'm constantly late, I'm going to get fired.
Well, you're going to get fired anyway, so what's the difference?
I know, true. So I might as well just enjoy my time in the morning.
Exactly, it all works out in the end.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking it's probably because of the job. Well, again, doing voiceover. You're late to do voiceover. You ain't going to be doing it for long.
No.
I will tell you that. Because they're paying a lot of studio. They pay a lot of money for the studio. If you show up late, they ain't going to like that too much.
Yeah. Oh, God, right? And you lose those jobs. And if you're known as being somebody who's inconsistent. But,
and now, of course, they've destroyed the business. Hollywood has, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, there's that.
Hollywood likes to destroy a lot of things. You ever notice that?
Well, I just have never been involved in any of those things, so I just kind of hear it peripheral from you. Do you think that it also has to do with people now just doing stuff from their house and like the availability for?
Maybe. Yeah.
And people, you guys probably both feel this. People will take jobs that you wouldn't take for that price, and they go, well, this person will do it for dirt cheap because they're trying to get into the industry. I'm sure that happens all the time.
Well, it's all dirt cheap now, so there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, Hollywood destroyed the business. There's no question they did. New York, Hollywood and New York.
Are you finding that, is it because they wanted named people? They wanted,
No, they wanted all the money. It's always about money, always. Whether it's politics or that kind of business or whatever, it's about money. There's no question about it. That's why you hear so many bad commercials now. I mean, I hear some voiceover. You must go through this watching television. You hear some of this voiceover. It's like, oh my God, that's terrible.
My family gets so angry at me because I'm the only one who doesn't. I don't skip through commercials. I sit and I watch and I listen and I want to know where we're at as a society.
Yep.
I want to see what's up. And they're like, could you please fast forward? I'm like, no. This is how I make money.
Yeah.
So I want to let people know that we're watching commercials. I'm one of the only few that I refuse to skip through it. Like when you're on especially when they got to the dials in the radio in the car, when you could just presets. As soon as a commercial came on, you could just hit the next radio station. I'm like, no, keep it here. I want to see what people are doing.
Yeah.
No, it's very, very true. The world has changed a lot as far as that is all concerned. No question about it. And I mean, that's one thing about streaming, because you can certainly, watch streaming shows that have commercials in them. Mm-hmm. And then you have the option, and it costs a little more, but I don't know how much more it costs. I have no idea.
And a lot of things I watch, you don't have, if there's commercials, you don't have the options to fast forward.
No, you don't.
No.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Which, in theory, like, right, like I would love just to go from thing to thing, but in appreciating what we're trying to do here, I go, I'm fine with that. I mean, they're always minimal, and then they get more bang for their bucks. There's like 2 per, in between breaks. But Rudy, did you also notice that like voiceover people are not very, like, since you're in the industry as well and you've been listening to commercials, do you find that like there seems to be lacking talent in the commercials as well, or what's the trends you're seeing? I'm
noticing that it's definitely people that have higher voices now.
Okay.
Really?
And it's definitely, I don't know if it's just, and maybe it just is very indicative of where we're at for society when it comes to men. Because if you hear a lot of men on commercials now, it's everybody with a higher voice. And they're always like, come on down to ITT Tech where you can get a blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
and you don't hear those big booming voices anymore because maybe it's like subconsciously they're going, we don't want to be associated with toxic masculinity. We don't need.
I wouldn't doubt it.
You know what I mean? So that's why they find somebody who has that higher voice. And women in particular, I mean, they can do voiceover well into their 70s and 80s because their voices typically don't change.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think that they study those things, or do you think it's just what is trending around them? Like, do you think it's actually they've done deep dives into what works better, or do you think it's just like what they feel will work better?
I think Rudy made a good point in the fact that we're so worried about, well, like I said earlier, there was a woman on the news this morning, it was early this morning, who claimed that people of color don't have as much time to work out as white people do. Like, where do you even get an idea like that?
Sure. Well,
that's ridiculous.
Even nowadays, try putting just a black woman and a black man as a couple together in a commercial. They would shoo you out of the business. It's like you have to have somebody, you have to have one white, you have to have one black, there has to be a multi-ethnic child in the mix. It's like, well, that's a black guy and a white girl. How did they make an Asian baby? But
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the math.
Come on, Tide. I need some answers.
But it is Tide.
Rudy's trying to get the backstory.
But they do that because they're afraid. They're afraid that if they don't do it, then people are going to come and not buy their product anymore.
Well, there are a lot of black families in commercials now.
Absolutely.
There are a lot.
But you have to have, white woman, black man, or vice versa. Or, boy, they're not a big fan.
Well, the thing about it is, if there is a white man in the commercial, he's always a moron. Always, yeah. I didn't get that, honey. How did you come up with it? It's like, oh, God.
Yeah, the wife walks out of the house. She's like, okay, sweetie, don't forget, I'm going to be gone until Monday. We got it under control. And then she walks out to the car and goes, oh, I forgot my charger, and walks back in. The place is a disaster.
Already.
Right. Yeah.
Is I think that was true 3 years ago. And I think now we've had such a backlash on that now we are dealing with, they always have the husband who is the house husband.
Yeah.
Like, now I think the backlash is so now pretending that is the norm. And I'm not saying it's not the norm or is the norm. It's, it can be all of the norm. I don't care. But I do notice that it's like all of a sudden Target and these like meals and stuff like that are made by, like, it's the men who's at home doing the thing, which is fine. But it's
you see that.
That seems like to be trending now.
But it's never a honky.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
White dudes are breaking into houses on your ADT commercial.
Exactly.
That's
There's a funny 30 Rock about that, about how they're like, old school racism's coming back. I saw a black guy in an ADT commercial. And he goes, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, I thought it wouldn't be because Obama's in office. And they're like, that's who's bringing it back. They're not scared of us anymore.
Oh, God.
It was just funny because it was like, they show a clip of this ADT of somebody breaking in and this woman just goes, a black man.
Yeah.
There you go. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. I really wish, and I got nothing against suburban people, God bless you, they're wonderful people, but you have no idea what the hell you're talking about when you try to talk about the inner city.
Yeah.
You have no clue what the hell you're talking about.
Well, I think I'm so far from it at this point. Like, I know Eden, I know where I live. I've lived in Minneapolis, but it was a while ago now. And like, I think I can even say, like, I don't know the ins and outs and the systematic problems there.
Yeah, but most people wouldn't admit that.
Isn't that funny?
You admit that. Most people wouldn't admit that.
When you admit it as well, like, at this point, like, you don't know we would want people in the community to tell us what's going on.
You mean in the inner city itself? Well, see, I still spend a lot of time there because I still have a lot of friends in the inner city.
Yeah, I mean, I do too, but like, I don't know the systematic problems.
Well, I pretty much, They're the same old problems we've had for a long time. But yeah, I just don't like it when people are, worth several $1 million and they know exactly what's going on Plymouth Avenue.
Right.
It's like, you're full of shit. You have no clue what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
None. And I've learned that over the years. But look, and I know that part of it maybe is a good part of their heart. It's like, we want to hire a lot of different people other than white men, because white men did all the commercials for about 50 years. It was always a white guy.
Yeah, and representation matters, as we've talked about this morning.
Right. But I don't know that you need to block them out completely. I never did TV commercials, just the voiceover on them.
Yeah.
I never appeared on camera. But I just, the problem with human beings is it's all or nothing. So if purple people couldn't get commercials at all, now that's all we're going to hire, and then the other people, you aren't getting any. Isn't it better if you meet in the middle?
Yes.
Life is kind of nice if you try to meet in the middle, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But we just don't ever do that.
And that's the problem with trends, right? Like, things are trending this way, things are trending that way. They're just like all or nothing. Nobody is.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's all or nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, calm down, relax. There are things that would go on in very wealthy neighborhoods. I'd have no idea what the hell they do there. I don't know.
Yeah. I barely know what's going on in my neighborhood. I know what's going on in my cul-de-sac.
Exactly.
Like, that's the funny thing is, I actually don't spend that much time in Eden Prairie. I'm here, or I'm in St. Paul, or I'm in Minneapolis. Like, I spend more time there. I can't even pretend to tell you what's in my own city, but like, that's where I'm at.
Oh, I got to tell you this thing that happened. So I can't even tell you where it was because I don't know the guy, and maybe he's the nicest guy in the world, but whatever. But I'm walking by, and I see this friend of mine, so I go over to say hello to him, and he's talking to another guy. This guy's probably about 30, probably around 30 years old, maybe 35 at the most. My friend's talking to this young guy, and they're blah, 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 and they had mentioned something. I can't even remember what the hell. It was some political thing. And I said, well, I don't really care because I'm not to the left and I'm not to the right. And there's a long pause, and the guy looks at me and goes, oh, you're one of those. It's like, what? I don't even know you, asshole. First of all, I'd watch what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because you don't look like a very tough guy to me. I got to be honest with you, you sugar tit. But yeah, why would you say that to someone you don't even know?
I have no idea.
You're assuming that I just hate everybody. But what I said was basically that there are things about Democrats I support. There are things about Republicans I support. That's what I meant. But he took it the exact opposite way because that's what people love to do now.
Yeah.
They always like to make it worse than it actually is.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I think they want some drama. Like, come fold my
Really?
laundry. That's some drama. Come clean our house. That's some drama. Like,
There's some drama for you.
like the idea that somebody just comes out to you like that is just so aggressive. I mean, I would walk away so quickly from a conversation
Again,
like that.
I mean, I considered it burning him to the ground, but then I thought, well, he knows it's a friend of mine, so I won't do that.
It's not worth
but
the
it
gasoline.
did piss me off, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know me.
Yeah.
Why don't you judge me, you pain in the ass?
Right?
Just because you got a small wiener. Or maybe he does, I don't know.
I assume so. He's definitely not. We're not nicknaming him Egert.
But see, now there's a perfect example of not knowing your environment. Because if I was a younger guy, I would have probably slapped him across the face years ago.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, not anymore because it's a different time now. But it's like, don't you ever talk to me like that. You don't know me.
well, the things we do in our 20s are far different than the things we do now.
Well, there is that. I'm much more even keel. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, you are, because I've worked with you for a while, but I'll say this is also, like, you have perspective. Is it really worth proving this one person wrong?
No.
And
no,
how many
that's
people
exactly right.
Because you'd go to violence, how many people would you prove right with your, like, oh, he's just angry, he's this and that. But
Being slapped is not really violence, like going to Catholic school. If you know what I'm saying.
Please save that 908.
What?
Being slapped isn't really violent.
It's not violence. It's like I said, nuns love to slap people. Or they used to anyway.
If somebody came here and slapped the shit out of me,
I wouldn't care for that.
you would not like that.
I would not like
You
that,
would
and they would not get away with it.
No.
But explain to me, because, I mean, how old are you now?
37?
You don't know how old you
I
are?
had to think for a second. We didn't really do much. Yeah, 37. Yeah.
You're 37.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a different word. Why is it? The people are younger than both of you. They're around 30 more
Okay.
than anything else. but they always look for the worst. They look for the bad side of everything. Why are they doing that?
I do think it's their bored in their life. Like,
yeah, but you can't project that on other people.
You can. You
well,
shouldn't.
They do.
Yeah, there's also no real problems left. I mean, you think
that's a good point.
Yeah, your brain is basically there. It's a problem solver. So when you have no problems, it creates problems to be able to solve them.
I agree.
And when you have all year round, it's always 72 wherever you're at. You're in some sort of air conditioning, or you got the heat blowing. We drive comfortably. We're not like walking to go get water. It comes out of the tap. There's no real problems anymore. So that's why we have to create things like he called me by the wrong pronouns. Like great. Like why is this such a problem? Like don't make problems if there's no problems. Everybody just go and enjoy yourself. And that's where I think a lot of this comes from, is that there's nobody really has hard times anymore. I mean, there's difficulty, obviously, but not like it used to be.
Well, that's where you go, like, if somebody's doing something you don't like, don't attend it. I mean, obviously, there's things that are like, if somebody's saying we should kill these kind of people or hurt these kind of people or not allow these kind of people to exist.
You don't need that.
We don't need that. But if, like, somebody, if Target is selling Live, Laugh, Lesbo on a onesie and it's pissing you off, don't go to Target. Don't go to Target. Don't buy Target things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the
What
solution.
does it say? Live, laugh, what?
Live, Laugh, Lesbo. That was a story we did.
Live, laugh, Lesbo.
Which is hilarious. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's on the... But where would you draw the line? And I'm not saying you should, but where would you
that's a
draw the
great
line?
question.
There's some things you can't put on T-shirts.
Are like onesies or like things. Yeah, I mean, I think Target is under the same... There is actually no law that you can't wear a shirt that says whatever you want, which I appreciate in a lot of ways, right? Like, you should feel safe to wear whatever. But it does seem crazy that you could, like, go pick up your kid or go to, like, a school with every swear word on the book on your shirt.
Well, an example of that, when my kids were, I guess, 10 and 12 years old, we're on an airplane and sitting there, and a guy gets on the airplane wearing a T-shirt that has 6-inch letters that says F you.
Yeah.
I don't really want my kids seeing that. What are you doing?
And I think that's where you go, let's be thankful for the amount of people that make the judgment not to wear that, because it's not illegal. You can wear that.
You can wear it, but why would you want to? I don't understand that.
I'm telling you, my sister went to the Lizzo concert and got me these sweatpants that say 100% that bitch, because that's from a lyric from her song.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even feel comfortable wearing those in the cul-de-sac. Because I think of all these kids that come to my house all the time and pet the dog. And that's just me. But if somebody else wants to wear that, totally fine. Like, I think you just have to go, what do I want to attract? I want to be able to, go to the playground with Go-Go and talk to other parents, other kids, and not be like the person wearing the giant FU shirt. Like,
yeah, I just don't understand. Why don't we lean toward, and I think Rudy's got a good point, that there are not a whole lot of troubles anymore, so we like to create them.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't you go the other way? It's like if I told you, well, I'm kind of in the middle, whatever. Why wouldn't you assume I meant that I support some things on both sides instead of I hate everyone?
Well, that person came in with preconceived notions about you.
But he'd never met me before.
Oh, he didn't have, but didn't have any, what he decided your reputation is?
I don't know if he even knew who the hell I was.
Because I would assume, unless that guy just walks around being a prick all day, which...
That was a possibility, by the way. I got to tell you, just the look on his face.
Maybe that burns calories. I don't know.
It might, exactly.
If that does, I'm on board.
Do you think we'll ever be able to get back to a point where, well, I shouldn't say get back to a point. Do you think we'll get to a point where everybody will assume the good instead of the bad?
Well, that's where I know you get mad sometimes that, like, me and Rudy aren't watching the news on the weekends. But I'll tell you this.
It's your job, though. That's
I know, no, and I'm not saying...
Don't worry about my feelings.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I will say this. It is a lot easier to assume good about people if you're not watching the national news.
You do have... No, watch the national news. Watch the local news. Yeah. Because I even have to steer away from the national news. All it is lying about... CNN lying about Fox and Fox lying about CNN. That's all. It's all about money. The whole thing's about money.
You would have loved this interaction when we were at this brewery. This guy had this dog named Brewer.
Brewer. Oh, at the brewery. He had Brewer at the brewery. I like it.
And I said, do you like the team a lot? And he goes, well, I actually used to work on...
he was a pitching coach.
Yeah, I used to work for the Brewers.
Was he really?
And he was a pitching coach. And so next thing I know, I just had found out that Rudy's brother-in-law was like this huge Brewer fan. For some reason, had come up and come. So I was like, Justin, get over here. Next thing I know, they're chatting. Rudy's like, I want in. Like, he's chatting. It was super fun. Nobody walked away knowing anybody's point of view on recycling or solar power or, all that stuff. But it was just like this lovely interaction, and he was just so nice about it.
Life should be.
It's how life is, yeah.
But I'd love to, look, there are a lot of people that live miserable lives, and the last thing they need to hear is you bitching about everything.
Yeah.
Because it's exactly what Rudy talked about. We have everything now,
yes.
But there are many, many people, millions of people who don't have anything, and the last thing they want to hear is you bitching about everything because you do have everything.
Wait till you get a real problem. It'll rock your world. That when those people, I've got a friend who's got a sick kiddo, wait till you get a real problem. And then you're not going to be walking around caring what everyone thinks about every thought because you're going to be too busy about with that
It's
problem.
just so negative, though. I just don't like all the negativity. Being negative used to be funny. I mean, when I was a teenager, if you were negative, people thought it was funny.
You're like the Eeyore of the group?
Yeah, that's a good example. You're okay, Eeyore,
Yeah.
once you calm down.
Yeah, the Snuffleupagus.
That's a little too far.
That's too far. Sesame Street is where you draw the line. Pooh Bear you're fine with, but Sesame Street.
I did love Sesame Street, though, watching it with the kids back in the day.
They still recommend it constantly
Do
for
they?
kids learning. They say this is one of the top tier, and it will always be one of the top tier because they're one of the first ones ever to do actual research on what works.
Oh, they did. Yeah,
Yeah.
they did a great job with that show. We have to take a break. Phil Mackey's coming up in just about 5 minutes. So if you've been following my progress with mnfatloss.com, I lost 27 pounds. Now, here's the honesty part of Tom that some people like and some people don't. Because I was sick for 2 weeks and spent a lot of time in bed and all the rest of it, I actually gained 3 pounds. And you'd think, well, laying around in bed, how the hell do you gain weight? Well, because you're not moving. That's the whole problem. So I've lost about 24 pounds right now. I'm starting the program today. As a matter of fact, it'll be my first day back on the program. But I like to be honest with people about it. You're going to hit some bumps, but you'll get through them. You can, believe me, with mnfatloss.com. Summer special, $200 off now through July 30th. Right now, today is when I start that new phase of it to lose. Well, now I have to lose about 28 pounds instead of 25. Works for me. It's easy to do. I can't recommend this program any higher. Of course, any fat loss program is going to take some effort, but honestly, with mnfatloss.com comes secret to fat loss. They got great ideas. This program is way easier than I expected. The maintenance program allows me to add back in some of the foods that I do love because I'm not one of those kind of guys. If I love something, I'm not going to stay away from it forever.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
No.
And you can still maintain your weight loss, by the way, doing that. You will absolutely be able to lose weight like I've done and save $200 with their summer special, $200 off, now through July 30th. If you want to find out the secret to losing 20 to 30 pounds in just 8 weeks like I'm doing, that's about a pound of fat every day. No exercise required. Schedule your free consultation. Go to mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com. Results may vary. Be sure to tell the team at mnfatloss.com that Tom Barnard sent you.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live at tombernardshow.com or on the Tom Barnard Show app.
Boating season is here, and many of you will be hauling a boat to the lake this summer. At Bradshaw and Bryant, we encourage you to keep yourself and others safe by obeying the laws of the lakes. Keep in mind that children 10 and under are required to wear a life jacket at all times. It's also good to make sure everything on the boat is in working order before heading out into the water. Alcohol causes thousands of boating injuries every year. Remember that the captain is responsible for the crew and cannot be over the legal limit. And please, not only be aware of other boats in the water, but keep an eye out for water skiers, tubers, and jet skiers. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. Please do your part to keep yourself and others safe on the lakes this summer.
You can find Mike Bryant of Bradshaw and Bryant and at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Mike Bryant, seeking justice for the injured.
Working harder, going farther, with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
It's time to beat the heat. This is Tom from my friends at Miller Marine and Power Lodge, giving you the keys to a cool lake breeze with clearance pricing on 2023 luxury pontoons, fishing boats, and more. Our dog days of summer won't last, and neither will their inventory. So do both of us a favor and go from floor to shore today with iconic Bennington pontoons and tri-toon packages at doorbuster pricing at Miller Marine in St. Cloud and all Power Lodge locations. Get your first cruise in by sunset. But don't wait on this limited time special. Power Lodge offers competitive financing with no money down. By the way, if you need delivery to your dock, their team of experts has you covered. Discover what thousands of our Minnesota neighbors have and explore our lakes and rivers in your own boat at Elite Savings. I said Elite Savings, darn it. Launch into adventure today at Miller Marine and Power Lodge. Just head to millermarine.com and powerlodge.com to see for yourself. Financing is available on approved credit. Freight and prep are not included in package.
Tom Barnard Show here with the one and only Tom Barnard. Phil Mackey, what's up? How was your weekend?
What's happening? What is happening? I spent my entire long weekend watching Kirk Cousins on Netflix.
Isn't that crazy?
Sames. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know that's what Rudy does pretty much every night.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins on Netflix, Kirk Cousins on YouTube.
Yeah, Rudy's he's got his whole saved file on YouTube is just Kirk Cousins eating pasta, Kirk Cousins walking the beach,
It's
just
what,
things.
It's what I watch when I need to go to bed.
Yes.
I got to get to sleep somehow. What'll bore me enough? Oh, videos of Kirk Cousins. That's what
Kirk
does
Cousins press conference. Yes, that's what we'll watch. Tom, I'm assuming that you have watched all 8 episodes of the new quarterback docu-series on Netflix starring Kirk Cousins.
I wouldn't watch that with your eyes. Let me put it that way. I have no interest in that kind of thing.
So he, it's kind of, and he's doing a bunch of local interviews. I saw he did something with Jim Rich on Fox 9 the other day. Just kind of, he's a big star, right? He's a red carpet star of this new Netflix show. And, there's a lot to unpack, but I think my favorite scene was at one point, middle of the season, the cameras show him in his car in the parking lot at the Vikings practice facility. And he has all these wire. He's literally sitting in his in the driver's seat of his car with all these wires hooked up to his forehead and his temples. He's doing electric brain stimulation exercises so that he can be, mentally on point for, the big game on Sunday. Have you guys ever done anything have you heard of anything like that before?
That is the one thing about him that I actually enjoyed, that because I have done stuff like that, and I've actually even done hypnosis for performance when it comes to entertainment, when it comes to being on stage, trying to work through some of that anxiety and just figuring out which way, because at that level it is fractions of points that make you great or forgotten. And when you are doing everything you possibly can, and even if it is just sitting in your truck with an electro put on your head, if it gets you an extra 30 yards that Sunday to win the game, was it worth sitting in your truck? Absolutely. So
I think that it's a good point, but I also think if you make $40 million a year, you just spend money on things guess, electric brain stimulation. That sounds great. We'll go to Costco and then we'll do some electric brain stimulation. Be great.
I don't understand. What's it supposed to do? Stimulate your brain to do what?
I think Rudy nailed it. It's supposed to just sharpen your focus. We should try it live. This is another YouTube idea here for the Tom Barnard Show.
Yeah, it really
Tom
does.
Barnard.
And there's some supplements out there that are proven that if you take them, it makes your brain just a little bit faster. There's a game that we play with the family where you take your phone and you put it above your head. I can't remember the name of it. Brittany,
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
but you have to come up. They'll give you a song title, and then you have to come up with the lyrics. And I can definitely tell when I'm playing with somebody who has a job where they have to be on and sharp all the time, because immediately when that song title comes up on the phone, they know those song lyrics immediately. Where everybody else who kind of has a job where they don't really get pushed a little bit, it takes them another 5 seconds to come up with those lyrics.
Yeah,
so
heads up, that's the game.
Heads up, that's what it's called.
Yeah. You can tell people are just sitting in their cubicle for 9 hours counting down the clock. They suck at that game, apparently.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Have people gotten that stupid? I mean, honestly, you do know that people don't do mathematics. They don't read anymore. They don't do any of that stuff anymore.
Well, people don't interact anymore.
They don't interact, right?
I don't have kids, and so I'm not the one to speak on this, but I've seen in the last couple of years, you see even through the pandemic, the data shows, 2 or 3 generations ago, the level of just human interaction was exponentially higher than if you were born in the 2000s, right? I mean, my dad was born in 1942. He used to tell me stories all the time about when he was a kid. He'd always wonder, Philip, why don't you go down to the park and play with your friends? And I'm like, I don't want to get kidnapped. What do you mean?
Phil,
when I was a kid, he said you would just go to the park any day in the summer on a Saturday. There'd just be 30 other kids playing baseball, and then you would come home 9 hours later.
That does not happen anymore, does it?
Unless you want to get kidnapped. No.
Unless you want to get. My favorite story there, and I won't say his name, but I remember we were about 12 years old playing a little baseball down at Cleveland Park in North Minneapolis. Kid shows up, hey, can I play? I said, absolutely. So he jumps on one of the teams. He forgot one thing, though. And so he stripes one into the gap. Got a double, maybe even a triple. He's going to stretch her out to a triple. But as he's rounding second, apparently he forgot he had a box of farmer matches in his pocket. And the thing lit up like a Christmas tree.
Oh, my God.
His pants started on fire because they all lit up at the same time. I will never, it's like, how did you ever think that was a good idea to have farmer matches in your pocket?
Maybe he was just that fast, actually. He's so fast.
Yes, exactly.
His legs caught on fire while he was running the bases.
He's a trendsetter. Is before those phones were exploding in people's pockets.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that, too. I do remember that, too. So, I don't know. The world has changed. I guess they're having a bitch of a time with mathematics, with reading, with all that stuff in school now because most kids can't read anymore.
Oh. Yeah, does it even matter? If all of our interactions are going to be largely online and think about kind of where this is all headed in the next 10 to 20 years, maybe it doesn't matter if
it might not.
Well,
hold your own in a face-to-face conversation.
It's funny. So I was during the pandemic was going back to school for nursing, and one of the big issues where kids are great with technology, and 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, terrible when we'd have to go do clinicals and talk with the patient.
Yep.
And so it was that was a big time part of the focus. And all of a sudden they were putting these electronic people then in our building to talk to them. And it still felt like this doesn't seem like the solution at all. But that seemed to be the biggest hurdle a lot of them had.
They can't communicate.
Correct.
That's very, very true. They can, unless it's on, that's why I don't go on social media. I have no interest in social media because it's not human to me.
Yeah.
I know
it's actually kind of fun, though, just as a wake-up call in the morning to read through all the people that hate your guts for a half hour. Just to really jumpstart your day,
Man, you must be polarizing, Phil, because of the sports aspect. If you say one thing, you'll have somebody who probably loves you, and the minute that you have a different opinion, that probably...
But that's what's kind of dumb. I've been in sports media in various forms for almost 20 years, for over half my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I fully understand how little sports really mean in the grand scheme of the world and society. We're all just sort of specks of dust anyways on this earth, and sports are just this sort of fun thing we use as a distraction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To put sports in its proper worldly context over here, but then you look at the ratio of how mad people get and what they will say if they disagree with you about a quarterback opinion is wild to me. I mean, I have had, and you guys have all heard it from people too. I literally had people telling me, so my dad passed away in October, and I have opinions about football still the rest of the season, and people disagree. I literally had people saying your dead father would be ashamed. Would you ever say that to someone if we just were at a bar waiting for a
Or you differed on movies opinions. I hated Top Gun. Your dead father would roll in. What?
It's whoa, let's calm down. Everyone take a step back.
Take it down 45 notches, please.
Well, let me ask you
guys.
Kirk
Cousins is not a top 10 quarterback. I'm going to come to your house and murder your family.
God.
Whoa.
You're right, sports, man. It's just insane. Now, well, Phil, you're not in the building, so you're safe. But, Rudy, I got a warning for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to go down and eliminate down the hall here right after the show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who was in there, but you're supposed to get the urine in the urinal.
Oh, no.
The entire floor is covered with urine.
That's on me. Sorry.
Yeah.
So you went in the men's room?
I was trying something new. Didn't pan out.
I'm not kidding you. I walked in there, I was like, what the hell? You had to go into the toilet stalls because there was urine all over How does that even happen?
I know. I walked in there today. I thought a moose antler was sticking out of the toilet. I was like, what is the smell in here? My goodness, you guys.
Like the top of the tip of the Titanic.
I
Just,
cannot. The visualizations are much.
Just
you see people jumping off into the toilet water.
Well, Phil, I mean, I got to be honest with you. I understand that Oakland's the worst team in baseball, but they did take all three. They had to take all three, and they almost lost the one yesterday. They tried to lose it, but as far as that's concerned, they did what they were supposed to do. But, boy, that team has got some weaknesses, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's really hard. I know that they did what they had to do, right? They won the 3 games, and okay, you can exhale. I think Cleveland lost all 3, so now you're back up, 2.5 games, a little breathing room. But I don't think we should gloss past Oakland being the worst team in the league. Not only is Oakland the worst team in the league, I looked this up this morning. Mm-hmm. So the 1962 Mets in the modern 162 game schedule era, the 1962 Mets are the worst team with 40 wins and 120 losses. They must have rained out 2 games or something.
Yes, right.
The A's are in lockstep with the 1962 Mets. They're on pace to win 41 games. 41 games. Think about it. It's a 6-month season. They're gonna win like 5 games a month.
Yep.
Over the entire baseball season.
No, you're
or 6 games a month, whatever the math is.
6.5, whatever the hell it is. But no, you're absolutely right. That team is dreadfully bad. Got a couple of good players on them. It's a couple of young guys that are up and coming. But again, you're in a situation where the Twins. It looked like they were going to lose that game. They were down 3-0 at one point, and they haven't exactly been hitting the ball lately. So
Yeah, Alex Kirilloff had the 4 RBIs yesterday. I think if you're the Twins, though, you're probably inspired playing in that ballpark because you want to talk about standing urine in the bathroom down the hallway. That stadium is disgusting. So they're moving to Las Vegas at some point. They're going to have a new stadium. But there's literally a family of possums living in the press box, like inside the walls of the press box for 3 years. They'll just be broadcasting a game, and like 2 possums will peek their head through the ceiling tiles.
That was one of my favorite days in my life. We went out there 1988 or 89, something like that, with the KQ Morning Show. Took a bunch of people out there to watch the A's and the Twins play. Catherine went with us. It actually had to be 87. No, 88. It would have been 88. We went out there, and because Andy was a baby. So we're pushing Andy down the street in San Francisco. We're staying in San Francisco, go to see the A's over there in Oakland. And we're pushing the cart down the street, and this convertible comes by, and there's an older man with his arm around a younger man, and the young man's got his head on the older guy's shoulder. And the younger guy looks over at Catherine and me, looks and sees we have a baby carriage, and screams out, "Effing breeders."
What?
Right? So that's how our day starts. And of course, the light had changed, so they were pulling away as he's calling us effing breeders. Tough guy.
He's out.
We got to the Oakland A's stadium. What a shithole. I mean, the stadium's
and that's
terrible.
30 years ago it was bad.
Yeah.
And it's the same one. So there's nothing changed.
Yeah, nothing's changed.
Really?
Has that thing changed at all in the last 100 years or whatever it is?
Man, I mean, it's gotten worse probably, but I don't know that it was always it's a football stadium, right? And the A's have always kind of been sort of the second-class citizens. I want to go back to this insult. That's an amazing.
I know.
Imagine driving by someone. So they called you breeders, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're insulting you for carrying on the human population.
That's correct.
That's so funny, though.
Exactly.
Like,
Reproducers.
Yeah. How did you get here, pal? That's what I'd like to know. Where'd you come from?
that was iconic. That was like such a beautiful moment. I would love to have a moment like that. Breeder, I'd say, yep, that happens.
I've been breeding. You're absolutely right. I will tell you what. Kath and I used to go out to San Francisco once in a while, just kind of hang out and then go up to Napa Valley and all that. I guess it's just sad to go there now. I haven't been there in years now, but I heard San Francisco is just a disaster now.
Yeah, I was just there.
Oh, were you?
I was
Okay.
just there, 2 weeks ago, I think? And then I have to go back, I think, sometime in October. The city itself is awful to be in, but
That's
the
what I
outskirts,
heard.
yeah, because everybody who's like, a decent citizen decided to move to Santa Rosa, they
Yeah.
moved to Napa.
Yep.
They move out because first off, you can't afford San Francisco
Oh, yeah.
anymore because it's
Oh, yeah.
incredibly expensive. And then on top of it, when you are paying that much, you're paying to have somebody just, set up a tent and camp outside your front door.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, hey, man, I'm paying good money to have a spot here. Why is it that they're just moving all these encampments around and not really taking care of the problem? They kick people out, everybody moves down the street, and then they kick them out again. Instead of actually trying to solve the issue, they just keep moving it from spot to spot.
I mean, the joke's on you. You're paying $5,000 for that view, and the guy in the tent's not paying anything.
That's true.
If
You're signing up to go to his Airbnb.
Yeah, if you drive through Los Angeles right now, you would be amazed at how many broken down RVs are just in high-end areas, like Beverly Hills. They just pull up an old RV, they set up shop, and then they just stay there.
Like Rodeo Drive, there's just some old beat-up camper.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yep.
I know.
It's
I
kind
miss
of
it.
genius. Can you imagine just going right down like waterfront, San Francisco, go over to just park your 30-year-old broken down RV on a street in Sausalito with a view of the Golden Gate Bridge. It's kind of a genius play, actually.
God, it was so much fun. Here's another thing about it, and it's so many years ago now. I think the last trip we took out there, Andy was, I think, 16, Alex was 14. So 20 years ago. The last time we went to San Francisco was 20 years ago, right? And I will never went to this. Well, I won't say the name of the restaurant because of what she did, because she was just trying to be friendly or something. But we get there, and it's Catherine and Andy and Alex, and one of Alex's friends, who is also 16, by the way, and me. And the young woman, the server, comes over. Now, this is right in San Francisco. She comes over, and I ordered a couple bottles of wine. And she's opening the wine and all the rest of it. And as she is holding the wine in her right hand, she looks at Andy, Alex, and her friend and goes, well, everybody here's 21, and poured them all a glass of wine. I will never forget that. It's like, whoa, San Francisco, a little different than Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Did you allow them to partake, or did you swoop those glasses up?
I'm pretty sure Catherine was not wild about the idea.
Yeah, especially the friend aspect. That friend, especially as you get older, like that friend is such a liability. Like, let's not let the friend drink who went on this trip with us.
Mm-hmm. But San Francisco was so friendly back in the day. My God. Now, again, I understand I'm talking 20, 30 years ago, whatever. Haven't been out there since 20 years ago. But we used to love to go there, again, because we went up to Napa Valley and did all the wine. Very, very quickly, we get to, I won't even mention which vineyard, but we're there. That was a little later on trip. And they said, I'm sorry, but we're going to close in about a half an hour, but you're more than welcome to come in for a half an hour if that's long enough for you. And I said, yeah, that's not going to be a problem. But very, very famous wine company. And we're there, and he goes, we're going to have to leave at 5 o'clock, or 5:30. I said, oh, okay, well, that's fine. He goes, well, I should probably just tell you why you have to leave. It's not like we're trying to push you out the door, but we have a 500-seat little kind of, what would they call those smaller, they're not auditoriums.
No,
like an amphitheater?
Like an amphitheater, like a 500-seat amphitheater.
Little stadium, or not stadium, but
I think
like
amphitheater's the route to take.
seating, yeah.
We go out there, and we've got a 500-seat amphitheater out there, and we got a show coming up at 5:30, and that's why we got to clear everybody out. I said, well, that's terrific. Well, could we just go to the show? And he goes, no, it's sold out, unfortunately. As a matter of fact, it's not even sold out. It's invite only. I said, oh, that's too bad, because I'm sure we'd love to sit in the vineyard and a 500-seat amphitheater, and who's playing? And he said, no, remember, you can't go out there. And I said, okay. He said, you got to leave at 5:30. I said, okay. 500-seat amphitheater. It's 75 degrees. The sun's shining. It is spectacularly beautiful. And the person performing was Frank Sinatra.
What? Wow.
Can you imagine seeing something like that?
Wow.
Were you tempted at all?
I tried to pull a gun on the guy, but
Just like a little, like maybe we got lost walking to our car a little bit, kind of feel.
No, I did see Frank Sinatra once at the old Met Center, which
Okay.
was a thrill.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. But 500 seats outdoors in Napa Valley, you get to see Frank Sinatra.
That's pretty
So
cool.
you said at the Met Center. So what was the seating at the Met Center? 10?
Yeah,
15,
10, 15, somewhere in there. Yep.
See, I obviously have never seen Frank Sinatra perform live, but that feels like too big of an arena for Frank Sinatra. Not that he couldn't pack 100,000, but like
yep.
It's not Lady Gaga, Taylor Swift jumping all over the place. I feel like it's better suited in small sort of venues, like in more intimate venues.
Speaking of that, how are the Twins doing with they had the weekend series, right? How'd that do?
Oh, the Twin Cities Summerfest?
Summerfest, yeah, there you go.
I think the Killers did well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I think they were trying to put out discounted tickets up to the last minute. I don't know that it packed the house quite like they.
It's a brand new deal. It's a brand new idea, right? So it's the first year of it, correct?
I think so. Yes,
I think that's right. So the first year is always going to be a little rough. So as they go on,
no, they did I think they did a country one last year. This
they did. Okay.
Year.
All right. Because I got to believe that'd be. I mean, that's a beautiful stadium to sit in that stadium watching a couple of acts. It'd be great.
Have you guys seen concerts at Target Field?
No.
Oh,
Nope.
it is. I think we've seen a couple country concerts like Billy Joel. Billy Joel was incredible at Target Field about 4 or 5 years ago.
Sure.
If you get a chance to see a bit, there was one summer where they had they just kind of cobbled together like 4 different popular 80s bands, and we totally bit. We're like, we're definitely getting tickets for this. It was Journey, Def Leppard, and I don't know, some other like obscure 80s band. And they brought in enough fans of each of the bands to sort of pack the house.
Yeah.
But if you ever get a chance to go to a concert there, it is a really good time.
What was the one you went to this summer? You just went to one, Phil.
I went to Usher in Las Vegas 2 weekends ago.
Okay, all right. I was like,
It was at not MGM Grand, but Park MGM.
How was that?
So it's incredible. So he's doing a residency. So we saw Aerosmith at the same venue. It's like maybe a 1,500, like call it 2,000 seat venue.
Love Aerosmith.
And they're playing like 3-4 nights a week. And this is like 3 years ago. Steven Tyler, excuse me, 70 some years old, was still throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, man.
Yeah.
Like the high notes on Dream On. He was, and it wasn't like piped in voice track. Like
Right.
It was Steven Tyler, and he was incredible. And Usher was too, by the way. At one point, we thought like Aerosmith played for like an hour and a half, and then they kick you back out to go to the slot machines because that's what they really want people to do. So we kind of. In terms of like our bladder planning and everything, we're like, we're going to be here for like an hour and a half. He played for 3 hours. 3 hours. At one point, he was on roller skates for like 45 minutes. Just like,
Usher's like, hold my beer.
like are we hallucinating? I know we've gotten into some fun stuff here in Vegas, but I don't know.
You stayed for the whole time.
We did, yeah. We stayed.
That's impressive because I feel like after like 2 hours, I'd be like, I think I've had enough Usher.
By the way, I was the only white guy in the entire arena, and it was fantastic. It was like everyone's looking at me like, "Who's this guy? Who's this nerdy? Who's this this dweeb with suspenders on right now?" But it was a blast.
Okay.
Super fun.
God, did we hold you too long? Sorry about that.
Actually, probably, but
probably.
I'll ask for forgiveness later.
Thank you.
Talk to you guys. I'm actually out of town for a wedding on Friday, so I'll probably send Judd your way again and catch up with you guys in a week or so.
Oh, so you and Judd are kind of flipping spots?
I think so. Yeah, we haven't planned this out yet, but we'll notify your people. Our people will call your people.
So like Tuesday, Wednesday,
we'll find someone to complain about the Twins from SKOR North, and we'll send them your way.
Then I can assist them in that complaining. That'll be magnificent. Phil, thank you, sir.
All right, see you, everyone.
Always a pleasure. Phil Mackey, ladies and gentlemen, SKOR North. Because usually Judd's on Monday and Friday.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but
Phil's on Monday and Friday. Judd is Tuesday, Wednesday,
Thursday.
Thursday.
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah.
Thursday. That's right. There you go.
Also, speaking of Judd and speaking of Quarterback on Netflix, they have him on there. His voice.
A lot,
They took, quite a bit, actually. All of his hot takes on Kirk Cousins, they weave it into the docu-series.
He's off, isn't he?
Yeah.
He can't hear me.
Yeah, you can't hear me.
I really like working with both those guys.
Oh, yeah, they're
those
lovely.
guys, Phil and Judd are terrific to work with. No doubt about it.
Talented
well, everybody
guys.
we got.
Yeah.
Let me think of somebody. Well, there's Sandy, who's just gonna, hanging in there.
I know, but Sandy sets the tone that we don't have to be that good, and I appreciate that. It's also
Sandy.
essential.
One of the nicest men you'd ever want to meet, though.
I love him.
Who the hell ever thought an Italian from New Jersey would be a nice guy?
And that he's a horse farmer of like 80 horses. Like,
yeah.
he lives a wild world.
He does live in a wild, wild world. There's no question about it. We should probably take a break here because does it look like we might have that guest coming up?
Yeah, it sounds like we will. Yep.
Fantastic. We'll be right back in a couple minutes.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live at tombernardshow.com or on the Tom Barnard Show app.
So, if you've been following my progress with MinnesotaFatLoss.com, I've lost right at 27 pounds, and you can too with the MNFatLoss.com summer special, $200 off, now only through July 30th. I'm going into my maintenance phase. I can't recommend this program any higher. Of course, any fat loss program is going to take some effort, but honestly, with MNFatLoss.com comes secret to fat loss. This program was way easier than I expected. The maintenance program allows me to add back in some more of the foods I love and still maintain my weight loss. You will absolutely be able to lose weight like I've done and save $200 with their summer special. $200 off now through July 30th. If you want to find out the secret to losing 20 to 30 pounds in just 8 weeks, just like I'm doing, that's about a pound of fat every day. No exercise required. To schedule your free consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com. Results may vary. Be sure to tell the team at mnfatloss.com that Tom Barnard sent you.
This is Bob Sansevere, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialki from Bialki Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialki Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkilaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you. Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know when Christopher's ready to go, and we'll forge ahead.
Mm-hmm.
All right, excellent. Of course, we all have people in our lives who are always late for everything, and let's be real, that's most always because they value their own time more than your time. Of course, chronically late people have plenty of excuses, and now there's another one, time blindness. And it's actually a real thing, sort of. It's not an actual medical condition, but doctors use time blindness as a way of talking about the concept of losing track of time. And some people can be more prone to it than others. Our brains are constantly shifting between two types of attention, automatic attention and directed attention. Automatic attention is your happy place. It's how you focus when you're doing something you like or find interesting. Directed attention is what you use when you're engaged in things you have to do but don't really want to do. During periods of automatic attention, you can get so engrossed and hyper-focused that you lose track of time. But during directed attention, it can be hard to stay focused at all. We were just talking about that earlier this morning. I'm glad this story came up because, once again, you can't even take 10 minutes out of your life. You don't want to do this, but you can't give it your full attention for 10 minutes. We've turned some really ugly corners. We really have.
Yeah, we're definitely in a unique position where It is hard. There's so many availabilities to be distracted. Like, even just, okay, Brittany, don't go on your phone. Quickly do the dishes instead, and then do what you want to do.
Right.
Like, it's a weird world. We're balancing a lot of weird things.
Yeah, but I mean, then balance them and get your head out of your ass and be polite.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
I mean, I agree.
Right.
But, I mean, it's a work in progress.
In any case, for others, it can be manageable. Oh, I should probably read the line above this. Time blindness happens when people have trouble balancing the two. For example, people with ADHD and autism. Well, that's a different story, though. That's not the same. Tend to have overly strong automatic attention. In those cases, it's more hardwired. For others, it can be manageable, but you need to make an effort. Here are some tips to disengage with automatic attention that is kicked into overdrive. Set a timer on your phone to alert you when it's time to move on. No.
I do that with my Alexa.
Oh, do you?
Just like, especially if I don't want to do a task, sometimes I'll say, hey, I don't want to say your name even though I already did. Just set a timer for 2 minutes, because I don't want to set off a bunch of people's. Just set a timer for 2 minutes, and I'll tell myself, you're going to unload the dishwasher for 2 minutes. Like, it's just a way of being like, you see how small amount of time this actually is. And of course, it'll finish. But sometimes when I really don't want to do something, I'll say, just vacuum for 10 minutes. If you vacuum for 10 minutes, your whole floor will be done. You know what I mean? Sometimes I do that. I like to trick myself.
I understand. When you don't have a lot of time, try to avoid activities that you know you have a tendency to get lost in. So don't start watching an addictive show right before bed, or make plans to catch up with an old friend just before an appointment. Well, why would you ever do that? If you know you got an appointment, why would you engage in any conversation?
Yeah.
Makes no sense. Try the if-then technique. Set goals for yourself to reach, like making dinner, and then after you do that, then you'll do the next thing on your list, like read 2 chapters of a good book. I could not live my life like that. Having to make an appointment for everything you do. I have to make an appointment for dinner. I have to make an appointment to read a book.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that.
But this is for people who struggle with time management. You don't seem to, you don't have time blindness like they're talking about.
Well, then grow up.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't have time blindness at all. But,
No, you don't.
I think these are just kind of tips and tricks that if you're having trouble with keeping your timeline.
Yeah, because after the show, it takes me about 2 hours to get all the audio up onto the streaming services, and then also to do the YouTube, and then we also do a clip every day. It's about 2 hours. So in that 2 hours, as soon as I sit down, I set a timer for 25 minutes. I work for that 25 minutes. As soon as it's done, I force myself to take 5 minutes off. Get up, go get something to drink, look at my phone, and then come and sit. Because if I don't, it's still 4 p.m, and I've taken emails, I've taken phone calls, I've looked at things. All of a sudden, I'm down a rabbit hole down YouTube I didn't expect, and the show is still not. So you have to be able to be very regimented with your time.
That's so true. It's like, because you're stricter with your time, you have more wiggle room in your life.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. And I think these are tips and tricks you use a lot with kids. Kids are infamous for, like, so you have to say 2 more minutes on the iPad and then really follow through at that time so they get an idea that 2 minutes feels like 3 seconds when you're on your iPad.
Yeah. That is true. What do you prefer, Twinkies or Ding Dongs?
Ooh, boy, that's a good one.
Ding Dongs are the chocolate ones, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. I don't
Ding
think
Dongs.
Twinkies are. Twinkies are, the idea of them are okay, but when you take a bite of them, they're not my jam.
When I was doing building all those sound walls on 35W
Yes, sir.
for Bladholm Brothers, there was a guy that ate Twinkies every day.
Like more than one?
Oh, he'd have 2 Twinkies every day for lunch. He just loved Twinkies. I'm talking every single day he would have 2 Twinkies.
Is it vanilla or is it just lack of taste?
It's vanilla.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Twinkies. They're fine. Ding Dongs are good and all the rest of it.
What would you pick if you had to?
Probably the Ding Dongs because I do like chocolate a lot. No doubt about it.
Rudy?
Oh, I would go Ding Dong for sure.
The Dang Dong.
Ding
Shamalama
Dong.
Dang Dong. What song is that? Shamalama Ding Dong.
Yeah, that's from Animal House.
Animal
The
House,
guys were
there you
singing
go.
it. Yeah. Do you mind if we dance with the old ladies?
With your dates.
With your dates. That's what it is. Ah, it's so funny.
With your dates. Shamalama Ding Dong. Oh, really? Is it Shamalama Ding Dong? In any case, if your guilty pleasure is to shove Twinkies and Ding Dongs in your face at the same time, you just got a little easier. Hostess is selling a new Twinkie Ding Dong mashup. The inside is like a Twinkie, and the outside is covered in Ding Dong fudge. Well, that'd be pretty good.
I'm not mad at this.
No, I think that'd be really good, actually. Don't you think?
I actually would be down to clown with a twing dong.
A twing dong.
I was trying to think of what would a Twinkie and ding dong combo. A dinky.
Hey, whatever works.
A dinky, yes, a dinky.
Oh, I like dinky.
A dinky it is.
Okay, it's not a wing dong, it's a dinky.
It's a dinky.
Although wing dong's pretty good too.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? They've already been spotted at Walmart. They're being rolled out nationwide this month. They're a Walmart-only thing for now, but not a limited-time-only thing. Hostess says there'll be a permanent addition to. I think we were on the phone when I described what this is.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Well, yeah. It's they take a Twinkie and covered it up with chocolate. The ding dong part of it.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure you knew that. The way the word mashups is printed on the box also makes it seem like it's the first of several mashups that could be working on. Other snacks in their lineup they could mash up include ho-hos, zingers, snowballs, donuts, honey buns, coffee cakes, and Hostess cupcakes with a white swirl on top. Aren't all the Hostess cupcakes have a white swirl on top?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I would imagine that's probably true. I don't know. Those sound pretty good.
Yeah.
I've not had it. I got to go have a Twinkie. I haven't had a Twinkie, I bet you, in 40 years.
All right, Chris Miller, when's the last time you had a Twinkie?
Oh, gosh. At least 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Christopher Miller, our very special guy. And by the way, I like she went, your name is Christopher Miller. She goes right with, so listen, Chris.
Listen, Chris.
I mean, we're friendly now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're friendly now. Promoting his new book, The War Came to Us by Christopher Miller, coming this month. Matter of fact, it's out this month. This is a gripping insider's account of today's Ukraine from an American journalist who has covered its struggles and politics and embraced its spirit and people for 13 years. Christopher, what I want to do is just shut up and hear your story. This has got to be fascinating.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I hope so. I think it is, certainly. This is, as you mentioned, I've been in Ukraine, living here and reporting here for more than 13 years now. And, with the book, one of the things I really wanted to get across was just how incredible this place is, and to show, people who haven't yet visited Ukraine, and I hope all of you will someday, that this is a place worth seeing and worth helping and saving, and that the Ukrainian people themselves are just incredible. The resolve that they've shown, the resilience, defiance in the face of a horrific war that has killed so many thousands of them, including many of my friends. It's heartbreaking, but also inspiring. And yeah, so this book is my journey over the course of 13 years, but it's also the journey of Ukraine as it's endured a revolution, Russia's annexation of Crimea, the first invasion back in 2014 in eastern Ukraine, and now this full-scale Russian invasion. And it's packed with stories of people, ordinary people, doing extraordinary things, which is something that I know will resonate with Americans who value freedom and independence as much as the Ukrainians do.
I won't spend a lot of time on this, Christopher, but I keep watching the news, and I keep hearing how well Ukraine is doing. Do you see it that way as well? I mean, literally, some news reports now say that Russia cannot win this war. Do you see it that way?
Right now, I'm not certain that either Ukraine or Russia can win this war.
Right.
I don't see an end in sight, and I say that because Russian forces are so deeply entrenched, and their defenses are so dense. There are trenches and minefields that are just miles and miles and miles long, hundreds of meters deep. It's posing a real challenge to Ukraine's forces in this counteroffensive right now. That's not moving as quickly as had hoped. They're losing a lot of soldiers. They're losing a lot of Western weaponry. They're still gaining some territory, but they're not pushing ahead and recapturing their land. Kilometer by kilometer. It's more of a meter by meter advance at the moment, and so there's this real grinding nature of it that, at its current pace, I worry that Ukraine isn't going to be able to liberate all of its territory, and that it's going to have a much more limited success than had hoped. But fingers crossed. And if there are some things that Ukraine says the United States and the White House can do to aid this counteroffensive and provide it with a greater opportunity for success. For one being the delivery of Abrams tanks and perhaps in the near future F-16s.
What is Putin's whole point in the first place? I've never understood what this is all about. Crimea, I understand how that went and all the rest of it, but I don't really understand, what is he trying to do?
You know, I think this is an imperial project of his. I think he wants to restore Russia's greatness. He has famously said that the collapse of the Soviet Union was the worst thing of the 20th century, right? And that he needs to restore it, essentially to restore Moscow's power. There cannot be anything resembling the Soviet Union without Ukraine. Ukraine is essential to that project, and so that's why he's after it. But more than that, he has said that he doesn't believe Ukrainians to be real people, and that the Ukrainian language to be a real language. That they're essentially Russians who went awry and have lost their way. And I think it's personal for him as much as it is a project to ensure his own or to shore up his own power back home.
I talked to somebody, as a matter of fact, he was born in Russia, did not grow up there, but his view of it is, and this is his opinion, that Putin is the richest person in the world now. He's a trillionaire because he holds all the cards in Russia, and he literally just thinks that Putin is going to do. He's a bored billionaire, trillionaire. I mean, do you think that's part of it?
Yeah, I think there's some truth to that. I think he certainly has access to billions and billions of dollars, right? It's not necessarily in his name,
right?
But the way the system operates in Russia is that there are oligarchs that hold this wealth for him, and through him they hold these powerful positions. In return, he has access to their assets. So it is very likely that he is, one of the richest individuals in the world, if not the richest.
Mm-hmm.
I would say certainly has access to more resources than probably anybody. But I don't think this is about money. I think it is an ego thing.
Yes.
I think it is about his wanting to cement his legacy. He is a little man trying to do very big things. And I think he wants his legacy to be that he was, the person who was able to restore, quote, Russia's greatness. And this is this being the war in Ukraine and his attempts to capture it, a major key part of that.
What an amazing story. I know, Christopher, we only have about 1 minute left with you. And thank you so much for hanging in there and actually coming on the end of the show here. I really appreciate it. Christopher Miller talking about his new book, The War Came to Us, a native of Portland. So everywhere you go, there are buildings burning to the ground, Christopher. Maybe it's you. What do you?
I have a Ukrainian friend. I have a Ukrainian friend who says, "Chris, we're always glad when you show up, but it usually means that something bad is about to happen. What is it going to be this time?"
Whether it's Portland, although Brooklyn's in good shape, so you're in good shape there, are you not, sir?
I am, but for that reason, perhaps I should stick around Kyiv for a little bit longer for my next vacation.
Yes. Christopher, come back again sometime. I'd love to talk to you more about this because I think you have a very pointed and clear view of what's really going on here, and I really appreciate your honesty about it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Have a good day. Bye. Christopher Miller. See, I love guys that are just openly honest like that, just laying it out there. Yeah. And I literally have heard many people think because Putin has more money than God, that he's bored.
That could be it. I mean, that's Rudy's kind of base of all of our problems is bored people.
Well, it is. That's a lot. That's a huge, huge problem. Being bored is not good.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. We'll talk to you tomorrow.